Fires it out, and Gorkhuber's got it. He's up past the 30, 40, infield, down to the 40. He can go all the way. Oh my goodness! Floater received by Dory. Set up by Zippel. It's the left side attack here. That one is good. Played here by Eisel. Meadow Zippel. Backdoor attack by Toole. And there it is. Hadley Toole gets the 25th kill of the night for her. For Alexandria. Sends it right on a line. A header and a goal!
Oh,
Now an
intercepted.
interception. Here's a rollout. Now Thompson's going to fire right side. Makes it good. Huber's got it. He's into the end zone. Touchdown, Alex. Comes over to Wilson and across. Here's a shot by Melquist. Going to save the equalizer. Now Hornstein will keep it in. Getting into Anna Carenta. Carenta will fire a shot and a goal! Stealing face off. Toward the flat edge into the outer end. Wilson trying to bring it out front. Now here's a shot and a score! Now another rebound. That gets blocked. Breakout pass. Thornburg up the right side. He's got room. Takes the shot. Save made. 4-point Alexandria lead with 90 seconds to go in the first half. Final for three. Two baskets of the three-pointers. 57-53. Now a pressure on the line. Puts it up in the air. Data front court. Here's Hamalaka. Outside. On the left wing. Bingo! On KXRA Radio, but also through the Voice of Alexandria live stream channel on YouTube. Welcome to our first Jutner Motors pregame or pre-meet show of calendar year 2025. I am DMAC Dave McClurg. Season's greetings to you, and I hope you had a very happy holiday season, and we look forward to bringing you plenty of Alexandria Cardinal sports play-by-play here in the new year. My broadcast partner, Mark Storhaug, will be along coming up momentarily. We were down below, and there is a separation between the spectators in the stands and the activity going on here at the pool at the Brainerd High School Aquatic Center. So it is a little bit of an endeavor to navigate your way around, but it is a nice evening to be indoors to watch and broadcast the Alexandria Cardinal boys swimming and diving competition. As I mentioned, Coach Mark Storhaug is my broadcast partner tonight. You frequently heard from Coach Storhaug during the fall season because he is the head girls swimming and diving coach of the Alexandria Cardinals. And Mark, first of all, good evening to you. Happy New Year to you and to Cindy and your family as well. And it's great to have you along. I don't know if you've had a lot of opportunities behind the mic before, but it's great to have you here to describe Alexandria boys swimming and diving.
Well, thanks for inviting me. It is the first time behind the mic, so it's going to be a little different, being up high instead of down low, but this is a great vantage point. I'm going to have a lot of fun tonight, I think.
Yeah, the Alexandria Cardinals and the Brainerd Warriors each have a dual meet win this year, and obviously you probably know a little bit more about the Alexandria boys swimming and diving team than a lot of our listeners, because on home meet nights when events are held at Discovery Middle School, you and Cindy help out with the game night event, if you will. I think you mentioned to me on the road trip up, you're kind of sound coordinator, and Cindy does public address announcing, but though Alexandria might appear to be young in terms of not a lot of seniors on this roster, they do have a very talented group of juniors and sophomores. So, you know, the hope is that Alexandria can be competitive against a very good Brainerd squad tonight, but better days are ahead in the calendar year 2025 for the Alexandria Cardinals.
Right. I mean, yeah, like you said, we only have 2 seniors. We do have 9 juniors and 8 sophomores. So yeah, there's talent yet to be developed, and hopefully the next year or two that this team will take off even better than it is in 2025.
Of course, one of the notable athletes that we'll see later on, I believe it will be the 5th event of the night. I think you've referred to it as the event that kind of leads into halftime for a swimming and diving competition, and that is the diving event. And right. You know, it's neat to have two young men that placed in the state Class A boys competition last year. Crew Mouche, I believe, was a top 12 finisher, and he's back. And then, of course, you've got the defending Class A diving champion, Kyler Kavanaugh.
Yeah, they're exciting to watch, and so something I always look forward to when we have a contest in Alex, and even those times when I hit the road and just kind of follow them as a groupie. Diving's always a pleasure to watch because we've got a couple of really talented divers.
Mark, I believe you had the opportunity to coach in this particular venue back in the fall as Brainerd hosted the Central Lakes Conference Championship swimming and diving meet. I'm guessing the venue here is quite a bit different from the old Brainerd High School pool. What memories do you have about coaching in the old facility here at Brainerd High School?
Well, I tell you, this room is huge, and of course they have an 8-lane pool, and they've also got enough money together to build a separate diving well, which is you don't see that very often. So this room is really big compared to the old pool, which was a 6-lane room, no extra diving well, not very much deck space. And the crowd actually sat in the hallway that was adjacent to the pool on portable bleachers. So and you're yelling to no avail basically because
right.
you're yelling into the glass. It was a full glass, but nevertheless, it's kind of difficult to cheer on your kids when your voice isn't being heard.
Yeah, and the way you kind of describe that, it almost seems to me like going to a zoo or whatever, and you're an animal in the enclosed area or whatever, and then people are watching you, and they might make hand motions and everything like that, but yet you're not hearing their sound. I think the difference here is we're going to have the Brainerd Warrior and Alexandria Cardinal fans situated in front of us, and you mentioned to me, acoustic-wise, the sound's going to bounce all over the place here. Yeah,
it's a nice place. They did a lot of great things in here, but I think one of the things that they are lacking in this particular venue is acoustic tiles in the ceiling. And one of the reasons why I think they didn't put those in is because they have reflective lighting. That means the lighting shines up to the ceiling. The ceiling is white corrugated steel, and of course that reflects the lights off the ceiling really well and lights the room very well. But unfortunately, when you have no sound baffling anywhere in a concrete and steel building, you're going to have a lot of noise. And so it gets kind of noisy in here. You have to do a lot of yelling, even though you might be right next to somebody trying to tell them something. You still have to kind of yell because your voice just doesn't travel. It just goes everywhere.
We thank all of the Alexandria Cardinal sports boosters helping to bring you tonight's broadcast. Again, it's boys swimming and diving coming your way at the top of the hour. Our one regular season boys swimming event this year with Alexandria at Brainerd. Both are 1-0 in dual meet competition so far here in the winter of 2024-25. Alexandria is still a little bit of ways away from the home opener. That will be coming up later on this month at Discovery Middle School. My thanks to Jim and also Jackson back at the studio doing the work at Master Control to bring you our broadcast. Special thanks as well to Mark Storhaug for being my partner tonight, and JP Boline is behind the camera. As you watch the video presentation tonight on YouTube, you'll notice that as you see the long image of the pool itself, the blocks are off to the right of the screen, and then in the background the Brainerd bench is over there, and then the Alexandria swimmers are actually off the camera right now. They're actually situated almost directly below the stands on the near side from where we view things here at Brainerd High School. We're going to take our first break during our Jutner Motors pre-meet show. When we come back, you'll hear a brief discussion I was able to put together a short while ago with Kathy Walker, the head coach of the Alexandria boys swimming and diving team. That's ahead after this timeout.
Garden Center features 34 lanes of bowling fun. Whether you're an avid bowler or just looking for a fun outing, add Garden Center lanes to your calendar and make it a fun date.
We all make choices about alcohol. Kids make choices whether to drink or not.
Bye, Dad. Remember, I'm going to Alex's party tonight and sleeping over.
Hey, remind me about that party again?
So talk with your kids, because when you talk, they hear you.
You've seen them, craved them. You've voted them the best. Their Smoke and Brews and Q's get their unreal smoked barbecue for catering, drop-offs, or events.
Hi, this is Schmitty from Smoke and Brews and Q's. Our obsession is the meat, our passion is what makes it great.
Who do you turn to if you or a loved one is experiencing a mental health crisis? We're here. Region 4 South Mobile Crisis Team will come to you by calling 701-364-0431.
Fresh, family, locally loved. Eldon's Fresh Foods. Eldon's Fresh Foods.
I'm a nurse at heart. I went into this to take care of other people.
What we say as nurses and as teammates matters here.
Come on over, you'll love it. You will get to experience so many things and help many people.
Give them the freedom to grow with the peace of mind of security and safety.
Let me do my thing.
America's best checking for students. Visit www.bell.bank/student checking to learn more. Bell Bank, member FDIC.
Dentistry at the Center knows all about busy schedules, and that's one of the best things about having 3 dentists. We have more appointment times available, so we can see you sooner. So, for dentist appointments to fit your schedule better, come see the friendly folks at Dentistry at the Center.
Pomp's Tire Service has solutions for tired tires. Whatever your tire choice, make Pomp's your choice. Brakes, wheel alignments, factory maintenance, shocks, and struts. Pomp's has your service needs covered. Pomp's, we know tires and service. You should know Pomp's.
Precision Auto reminds you to plan for the inevitable, the change of weather and its impact on your vehicle. From simple tune-ups to major repairs, trust the precision of a pro. Precision Auto. On 8th and Nokomis, Alexandria.
We're going to get together and visit for a few moments here with the head coach of the Alexandria Cardinal boys swimming and diving team, Kathy Walker, prior to tonight's varsity and JV competition at the Brainerd High School Aquatic Center. Kathy, as I've been visiting with you a little bit before starting up the interview, I know that you've got a rather young roster in terms of not a lot of seniors, but yet it seems to me that you've got some kids with experience that are back. How has the early part of the season developed in terms of what's impressed you and what you've seen early on with one meet so far completed?
Well, as you said, we've only had one meet in a month, so we've been training for a month and only had one competition, but what we've seen at practices has been very hopeful, and we hope that tonight that we're going to be able to do some great races. You're right, we have only 2 seniors, Cooper Running and Caden Abel, but our juniors, sophomores, freshman class are really deep, and so we're really looking for big things to come from them.
Yeah, and I know that the one meet you had completed was the season opener against St. Cloud Apollo, and then the one the following Thursday I think got weathered out, and that's the road trip to Sauk Rapids, which ironically is scheduled for next week. Because there's been such a gap in between event competitions, Kathy, how did you utilize the holiday break in terms of what to do with the guys?
Well, we did a lot of racing and practices. And so we had kids who went lifetime bests during practice. If they were going to swim like, say, 100 freestyle or something like that, they had lifetime bests by number of seconds. So we just did some kind of meet mock-ups, or we did some kind of different exercises where they would actually imitate what a meet would be like and have to compete at that level, so that it didn't get boring, but also that they could see that they were making big progress towards those goals.
I know that you've got some young athletes that you're coaching right now that represented Alexandria at state. I guess notably 2 of your divers, Crew Mouche and the defending Class A state champion Kyler Kavanaugh, are back for the Alexandria Cardinals this year. Do you anticipate in a lot of meets this year that Alexandria is going to do well in scoring points on the diving board?
Well, in the past we've had only 2 divers with Crew and Kyler, and now this year we have 4 divers. We have Eli Peterson and also Ryan Sandin. So they're learning new dives. They've already got an 11 dive list, so we're going to be able to score a lot of points in diving simply because of their skill and just that they're doing so very well in their training.
We are visiting here with Kathy Walker, the head coach of the Alexandria Cardinal boys swimming and diving team, prior to tonight's dual meet as Alexandria matches up against the Brainerd Warriors. We've got play-by-play coverage coming up on KXRA Radio, and of course you can watch tonight's competition as well on the Voice of Alexandria live stream channel on YouTube. Kathy, I know that you first had the opportunity to get together with the swimmers at the end of November because that's when training begins for the upcoming winter season. Did you have some guys or maybe a lot of your athletes that did do some off-season training in the pool, whether it be club swimming or things along that lines?
Well, most of our athletes are three-sport athletes, so they're out for soccer, they're out for different cross-country. Keaton and Carson Blumgarner are out for cross-country. So we did a lot of different things like that with three-season athletes, but also they did swim club over the summer. Cooper and Andy and some of those guys swam club over the summer and also swam club in the fall too. So it's nice to see them coming in pretty good shape.
Do you have expectations as to what you might expect out of the dual meet schedule that your Cardinals will compete in? I know that with Detroit Lakes now in the conference, that adds another CLC dual, but you've only had the one competition so far against Sauk Rapids Rice. Competition number 2 in the conference is coming up here tonight. How good is the conference going to be for boys swimming and diving?
Our conference is very talented. Brainerd has won 2 big invitationals. Sartell, of course, is always super strong. Fergus Falls has been doing really, really well. So I'm just super happy that there's an outstate conference like ours that has such excellent teams. So I'm looking forward to a lot of great competitions this season.
I know when you sent me notes following the win against Apollo back in December, you've had a number of your swimmers that have already met section qualifying time standards. Do you anticipate that number continuing to build during the dual meet schedule here?
Absolutely. When we ran some time trials during practice, we had people who made state qualifying times, but it has to be done in an official sanctioned meet with registered officials. So we're seeing that those section qualifying times are going to continue, but also we're hoping for some state qualifying times as well.
Regarding this particular competition with the Brainerd Warriors, Kathy, how challenging is this dual meet going to be for your kids?
It's going to be very challenging. Brainerd has an excellent team. They've done really well, and it's a meet that we're not quite sure how things are going to go because we've only had one competition. So I put people in events that I thought that they could do well in, and we're hoping that that's going to be the case.
The lineup that you were able to share with me ahead of our broadcast here, you were gracious enough to email that earlier in the day. Do you anticipate this will be a standard lineup as you go through the dual meet schedule, or might you flex it a little bit?
Well, I did the meet lineup for the True Team, and we already have people in different events than they are for tonight. So we're going to try people in different events. Andy Wasik can swim anything. Cooper Runny can swim anything. We've got some flexibility that we're going to be experimenting with.
Very good. In terms of going through the holiday break, have your guys done a nice job avoiding the common winter crud and colds and things like that?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
No. We have kids with walking pneumonia. We have kids with ear infections. We have kids who were sick. We had kids who went on vacation with their family and came back on New Year's Eve day. So we have kids that have been out of the pool the whole winter break. So we'll see.
Yeah, and it's a situation. I know I got bogged down with some winter crud back in December, and you just kind of work your way through it and everything. But Kathy, we appreciate the opportunity to visit with you for a couple of minutes. Thanks so much for all the information. I look forward to seeing your team compete in just a little while, and best wishes to you and the Alexandria Cardinals.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your time.
Yep, that's Kathy Walker, the head coach of the Alexandria boys swimming and diving team. She's our special guest as part of our Jutner Motors pre-meet coverage. Our thanks once again to Jutner Motors for presenting the pre-meet show prior to tonight's varsity and JV boys swimming and diving competition live from the Brainerd High School Aquatic Center. It's the Warriors and the Cardinals for their only dual meeting of the year. Let's take this time out and hear a few words from our Alexandria Cardinal sports boosters.
Dentistry at the Center knows all about busy schedules, and that's one of the best things about having 3 dentists. We have more appointment times available, so we can see you sooner. So, for dentist appointments to fit your schedule better, come see the friendly folks at Dentistry at the Center.
On the field, a lot of people know me as number 11. Off the field, I appreciate how First Western Bank and Trust bankers take the time to learn about me and never treat me as just a number. You too can bank where you'll never be just an account number.
Make it Jetner Motors your best price dealer. Make it Jetner Motors your best price dealer.
North Central International. Heavy-duty truck service on long haulers, dump trucks, buses, and specialized heavy-duty rigs. Medium and heavy-duty parts and accessories for all makes of trucks. Just south of I-94 and Highway 29 South in Alexandria.
Enjoy life at the lake and work for a growing company that offers rewarding careers and cares about your well-being. Agard. We build cool machines and are hiring for multiple positions across the organization. Plus, no-cost health benefits for you and your family.
Cenex Midtown Express has fresh-made pizza, lunch and breakfast sandwiches, and broaster chicken, live bait, propane, and diesel fuel. Cenex Garfield has groceries, bait, and tackle, and made-to-order pizza. Cenex Midtown Express, Alexandria, and Cenex Garfield.
Northland Buildings has been providing quality post-frame buildings to customers for 30 years, serving clients across the upper Midwest since 1994. Northland Buildings, quality buildings built tough for the Northland. CM Woodworks produces high-quality cabinetry and furniture locally, right here in Nelson. See their showroom at 7300 39th Avenue Northeast in Nelson. CM Woodworks, custom wood creations, designed for beauty, built for life.
Being locally owned here at the Culvers of Alexandria, Charles Johnson and myself, John Loomis, are very proud to be a part of the community. We enjoy the time we get to spend here, the memories we've made, and we're excited to see you after the game when you need to refuel.
Go Cardinals! As Alexandria Cardinal boys swimming and diving is on the air, along with Coach Mark Storhaug, I am DMAC Dave McClurg. JP Boline is our videographer, and as you're watching on the YouTube screen right now, the first event, it's kind of a blended event with the varsity and JV. You've got a couple of different lanes where exhibitions are being run. Alexandria and Brainerd in the 200 medley relay, and Mark, as we kind of joined this relay in progress, but what have you seen evolve as the event is about to wrap up here?
Well, Brainerd's got a pretty good team. I think they've got a lot of above-average swimmers. We got second place in the opening medley. We weren't too far behind, just a couple of seconds, but nevertheless, Brainerd took a 1-3 on us. And so the scoring system with a 1-3, that means that Brainerd gets an 8 for the first place finish and a 2 for the third place finish. We get 4 points for the second place finish. So Brainerd goes out to a 10-4 lead.
So a 6-point advantage at the outset here with Brainerd going first and third. The Alexandria Cardinals go down early on in the duel here. And we've got coming up the 200 freestyle event next. Now there's going to be a junior varsity and a varsity heat here. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our first break during the play-by-play broadcast, and we'll tell you more, including event number 2, 3, and 4 straight ahead. Glenwood State Bank scoreboard at the moment. Early on in this duel, it's Brainerd 10, Alexandria 4.
Better water starts with EcoWater. Get started today and discover EcoWater's products and expertise for the perfect solution. Visit WeFixWaterMN.com with offices in Alexandria, Fergus Falls, Glenwood, and Morris.
Get great service at Alexandria Motors. Serving your family for generations and generations to come. Stop in for a great deal on your next vehicle. Alexandria Motors. One low price, plain and simple, always.
Northland Buildings has been providing quality post-frame buildings to customers for 30 years, serving clients across the upper Midwest since 1994. Northland Buildings, quality buildings built tough for the Northland.
Northland Building.
Along with Mark Storhaug and our videographer, JP Boline, Dave McClurg letting you know that you are watching tonight's broadcast on the Voice of Alexandria live stream channel on YouTube. And thanks for joining us on the radio for the broadcast coverage on 1490 AM, 100.3 FM, 105.7 FM, KXRA Alexandria. And we're also streaming audio through the Voice of Alexandria app. Brought to you by Mission Mechanical Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning. Our junior varsity 200 freestyle is now underway, and this is the second of the 12 scheduled events going on. And the JV heat is what you're watching on YouTube right now. The Alexandria Cardinals actually have 3 individuals in the JV. Andrew Rock in lane number 3, which is down toward the end of the lower part of your screen if you're watching. And then Peter Wasik is in lane number 5, and Cohen Lessenden is in lane number 7. Brainerd's athletes include Tristan Ryman in lane number 4 and Kian Duda in lane number 6. The outer lanes, so lane 8 near the back wall here at the Brainerd High School Aquatic Center, that's a lane for exhibition. And then lane 1, which is somewhat obscured by some fans situated below us here, that is also a lane for exhibition competition. So the junior varsity 200 freestyle event is the one taking place right now, and they are about halfway through the event, and the Brainerd Warriors have one of their athletes leading the way, and Alexandria has a couple of kids right now in second and third place.
This is a tough event, Dave. There's 4 distances in swimming, the 50, the 100, the 200, and the 500. I've always thought that the 200-yard distance is probably the toughest because you've got to be part sprinter and part distance swimmer. So you're swimming high quality, putting out a lot of energy, and you're trying to endure that for 8 lengths.
As people are watching the event here on the YouTube channel tonight, Mark, as they're seeing the swimmers doing their freestyle event here, as they're going across on the pool from side to side, is that 50 yards total?
Yep, down and back is 50 yards. That's correct. A 25-yard pool. So they are nearing the end here.
Yeah. And
looks like that was Tristan Ryman that took first.
Yep, and it looks like Alexandria, I think, will get a second out of Peter Wasik and Andrew Rock with a third, I believe.
Yep, so I think you're right.
So, and that's what it's looking like on the, Peter Wasik, second place finish, Andrew Rock with a third. Again, not every event is full. I know that Brainerd has about 25 swimmers and divers overall making up their roster, and Alexandria under head coach Kathy Walker has a similar number of athletes making up the varsity JV combined roster. So now we're getting set for the varsity freestyle event, and Alexandria will have competitors Carson Bumgarner in lane number 3, Cooper Running in lane 5, and Eli Wimmer in lane 7. So Eli Wimmer is actually going to be the swimmer furthest away from our vantage point toward the top of your screen on YouTube. Brainerd will have Drew Hagelin competing in lane 2, Logan Keepers in lane 4, Carter Durkis in lane 6. And the athletes are into the pool now, and pretty good start, and it looks like the Cardinals got a good jump here with Cooper Running, making the first turn here. Now doing the second 25-yard lap as he's advancing left to right. Not quite a full body length lead, but he's the one to get to the wall first to make the turn. And now he continues on here, leading the way. Brainerd has athletes running 2 and 3 right now, although near the top of the screen, I think Eli Wimmer kind of hanging in there, looking to be close to the third place performer right now. But Cooper Running continuing to do well as he works his way toward the wall, and now one more flip, and he's going to make the turn and start advancing to our left. So he's basically under 50 meters to complete the event here for the Alexandria Cardinals. Of course, he's got a couple of teammates that are out there joining him, and again, another swift turn by Cooper Running. One of the 2 seniors on the Alexandria roster, and looks like he's going to get an impressive performance here for the first place finish. It looks like Brainerd's going to go 2-3 here for I believe it's going to be Drew Hagelin that will be, oh, I'm sorry, yep, not quite there. Now we're going, I believe, into the close here. So, again, Cooper running, working his way. He's got about a half a pool lane lead now as he is going to get to the wall, and he will get the first place finish with a winning time of 1:49.35 seconds. And it's going to be in lane 4, Logan Keepers going second. And then I believe Carter Durkis on the other side of Cooper running will end up with the third place points. So Mark, a situation there where Alexandria does make a little bit of inroads getting the first place finish, but then looks like Brainerd's going to go 2-3, and then Alexandria, I think, is going to get some fourth place points as well.
Yeah, like I say, that's a tough race. You want to go out with some speed, but you want it to be easy speed. And, of course, that third 50 is going to be one of those laps where you're really feeling the pain, and then you try to, store up some adrenaline and head home as hard as you can. But that was a great time by Cooper. He slammed 1:53.62 at Apollo 3 or 4 weeks ago, so 1:49.35 is a very good time for him.
Yeah, so first place points for Cooper running, which would be 6 for Alexandria's team total, and then the Cardinals also got the fourth place points in the event, and I think Carson Baumgartner was the one to get the fourth place there. So I believe the team split these, I think 8 points for Alexandria, and the Brainerd Warriors, I think, also go with 8. So 18-12, I believe, is the updated score. But I know Mark, he's kept a lot of score sheets over the course of his coaching career, so he can definitely keep us up to date here. So now we're into the next event. It is the Junior Varsity 200 individual medley. And with the IM, Mark, what are the swimmers doing here?
Well, there's 4 different strokes in the swimming meet, and they're going to swim all 4 of them. They're going to start off with the butterfly, a lap of butterfly, and then switch over to backstroke, which is what you're seeing right now. And then they're going to make the turn after the backstroke and go into the breaststroke, and then finish with the front crawl, or the freestyle, as we call it.
Yeah, the Alexandria JV has Sam Kalina in lane number 3 and Micah Overshiner in lane number 5. So they're working through the various strokes right now and continuing to work. I believe this is the breaststroke that they're working now, the third of the 4 strokes.
Yeah, this is always the tougher one. Most of the IMers that I ever put in a lineup had to be a pretty good breaststroker, because when you're this far into an endurance race, or almost a sprint endurance race, you're really going to be tired on that third 50, which happens to be the breaststroke. But if you were a breaststroker by trade, then you'd be better off. You'd have more muscle memory, and you'd probably be more. It'd be more tolerable to swim the breaststroke, and then you can hopefully finish strong on the freestyle leg.
Yep, and I believe Brainerd's lead performer right now is into the final stroke that he's doing, and now Alexandria's got both of its athletes, Micah Overshiner and Sam Kalina, that are into their final strokes as well. As they're getting set to head to the wall. Brainerd will get a first place here in the JV competition, and likely will go 1-2 as well. And then the Alexandria Cardinals will get, it looks like, a third place and a fourth as well. But again, this is the JV portion of the 200 individual medley. So they will wrap up there, and I think Sam Kalina ended up going third place, and Micah Overshiner 5th. So Brainerd went 1-2-4 with Parker Albrecht winning. Then Gavin Ryman second, and Beckett Miller ended up being in the 4th spot. So now we move on to the varsity 200 IM, and Alexandria will have 3 athletes here. Keaton Doomer will be in lane number 3, Andy Wasik in lane 5, Camden Costers toward the top will be in lane number 7 as you're watching on YouTube. Jack Tachi will be the competitor in lane 2 for Brainerd, Bennett Day in lane number 4, and Brooks Berkacek will be in lane number 6 for Brainerd. So good start by all the athletes here as they are working their way right to left from our vantage point as you watch on YouTube. And looks like the early turn is for the Brainerd athlete in the second lane here, Jack Tachi, and now he's got Bennett Day over on the other side of the Cardinals' Keaton Doomer. As now the turn, and we get into the second stroke of the 200 IM, and that's the backstroke. So right now Brainerd sitting in a 1-2 spot here, although Alexandria has athlete making a nice turn in the middle of the pool here.
So Andy's a breaststroker. So in lane 5, Andy Wasek, he's a breaststroker. So even though he's probably virtually tied with the competitor Day in lane 4, he's really going to take off now in the breaststroke. Watch this.
And as they make the turn, now they're going to do the breaststroke here. So as Mark points out, and you're seeing it if you're watching it on YouTube right now, Andy Wasek doing a real nice job here for the Alexandria Cardinals. As he gets to the wall first, now will make the turn, and again, pretty good move off the wall here, and continuing to expand his lead. Right now he's probably about 2 body lengths ahead, and he'll be the first one to get to the wall to move into that 4th stroke of the 200 individual medley. And now he pushes off the wall and will go with the 50 free. So good work by Andy Wasek here as he continues to have a nice distance here. He has not yielded much in the water at all, and now he's going to make that final turn for the last leg to wrap up the 200 IM. And Alexandria should be getting some first place points here. The Brainerd Warriors likely will go 2-3 in this event, but Andy Wasek is going to touch the wall first, and his winning time will be 2 minutes, 9.73 seconds. I think Brainerd will have Bennett Day going second, and then Brooks Berkacek going third. And it looks like the Cardinals will get the 5th place points with Keaton Doomer, as Jack Tachi was able to nudge ahead of Doomer for the 4th place points. So the Alexandria Cardinals will get the 1st and 5th place points. So that's the second win for the Alexandria Cardinals tonight, but Brainerd goes 2-3-4, so that's a 9-7 scoring advantage for the Brainerd Warriors. And I believe unofficially that puts it at 27-19 for Brainerd. And let's see if they update those numbers there. We're about to move into event number 4. And this is the 50 free, so pretty quick event here. The junior varsity, a full field of athletes. We got 2 going exhibition for Alexandria. Colton Zelasco near the bottom of your screen if you're watching on YouTube, and then Gavin Gilbertson at the top of the screen in lane number 8. The Cardinals also have Gavin Bryan, Gunnar Rock, and Weston Berkey out there, and it looks like the first place finish is going to go to the young man in lane number 4, Wyatt Keepers, for the Brainerd Warriors. So he'll get the first place honors there. Again, the points accumulate for the varsity competition, so the junior varsity basically accumulating the personal time performances and everything. So now we're getting set for the 50 free of the varsity, and here you're going to have Gavin Bryan in lane 3, Micah Kitzman in lane 3 for the Cardinals, Addie Newman in lane 5. They'll be part of the varsity, and then Caden Abel will swim exhibition in lane 1. Zach Iverson will be near the top in lane number 7. I believe all 3 of the Cardinal athletes are the ones wearing the white caps, and the Brainerd Warriors wearing the dark caps with the blue Brainerd B on their swim cap. Good start by all of the athletes here, as Micah Kitzman kind of leading the way for Alexandria, but Brainerd has a couple of guys that do well at the turn. I believe Grady Sumption near the bottom. I think he's going to open up close to a body length lead here, and he'll be the one to touch the wall. And then it's going to be, in essence, a tie for second place there. I think Addie and Newman and Henry McCauley for Brainerd touched the wall simultaneously. So is that unusual, Mark, that you would have athletes in a short event like this, finish with identical times?
It's not unheard of. 53 is only 25-second swim, and on occasions you do have that tie. And I think as a scorekeeper, we always hated that because now there's a half a point out there you got to keep track of on your score sheet. You might not be able to fit it in the little blanks you've made. Yep, tie for second.
Yep. So that, in essence, does that split the second place points and the third place points then
Right.
when that happens? So
Yep.
So in essence, 3.5 for Alexandria for the second, third, and 3.5 for Brainerd for second, third. But the winner of the event is Kyler Carlson, and then Alexandria had Zach Iverson placing fourth to get a couple of points there. And then the fifth place finisher was Grady Sumption from Brainerd. So we're going to go to another break here. And Brainerd able to tack onto its lead. I believe the unofficial numbers at the moment have the Warriors with 37.5 points, and Alexandria on the Glenwood State Bank scoreboard right now with a score of 24.5. Let's hear these words from our Alexandria Cardinal Sports Booster.
Premier Collision guarantees your full satisfaction. From a simple dent to major bodywork, Premier Collision will fix your vehicle right. Stop by for a free estimate or go to premiercollisionmn.com. Premier Collision, excellent results, a friendly attitude, and fair prices.
Welcome to the spirit of Lake Town hospitality. Welcome to D. Mike's Resort Bar and Grill. From legacy locals, seasonal visitors, to traveling teams, you are our community. Come share in our rustic flavors, modern flair, and authentic roots. Legacy inspired, community infused.
What's your number?
We've driven 57 miles to Quality Toyota to get a great deal, and we've done it 13 times.
Quality Toyota.
Feel confident. Feel inspired. Embrace your unique beauty at 6th and Broadway Clothing. From expertly curated collections to personalized styling and color analysis services, you can embrace style as beautiful as you.
Coach Mark Storhaug and our videographer JP Boleen. This is DMAC Dave McClurg coming to you from the Brainerd High School Aquatic Center. 4 events have been completed, and right now Brainerd leads. I believe the margin is at 13 points for the Warriors, 37.5 for Brainerd, and 24.5 for Alexandria. Event number 5 on the event schedule is the diving event, and Mark, I know Coach Walker talked a little bit about it as part of the pre-meet coverage. She's got 2 veteran divers that are still underclassmen. The defending state champion Kyler Kavanaugh is going to be on the board for the Alexandria Cardinals, as is teammate Crew Mouche, but they're going to have a couple of their other teammates that will have the opportunity to compete too.
Yeah, like I said in the pregame, diving is always something to look forward to. We really got some talented divers, obviously, with a defending champion. And Crew Mouche, I think he's ready to get into that top 8 at the state meet any time now. So it's going to be exciting. And then it's also exciting to have a couple of other divers now that can start filling in our depth a little bit as well.
Yeah, the other divers that Alexandria does have available for tonight would be Ryan Sandin and Eli Peterson as well. Brainerd is likely going to have a couple of different divers. I noticed as they had the one-page, 2-sided event sheet here, they didn't list the divers for the 2 teams on there. So what Coach Josh McCaig was able to share with me, it looks like he's going to have a couple of divers. I think Weston Thesey and David Hareth will be on the board for the Brainerd Warriors. If you do have a situation here, Mark, where you've got one team with more divers than the other, do they alternate, in terms of an Alexandria diver going first and a Brainerd diver and back and forth?
Right. I would suspect that we'd have the same diving order as we do lane assignments. So
okay.
That's what usually happens. So there'd be an Alexandria diver going first, and we'd have a Brainerd diver going second because, the even-numbered divers would correspond to the even-numbered lanes that we had during the swimming portion of this competition.
Mark, while the official is talking with the divers before they do start their diving competition, my credit to you for the extra sheets that you provided for the broadcast tonight. You were mentioning this to me as we were coming up, the one-page score sheet where, you circle numbers as you have different placings, so you can really keep easy track of, how the meet's unfolding.
Right. I'm as a parent, there's lots of people that were in the crowd before we had, there's an app now you can get on your phone, which is called Meet Mobile, which keeps track of the team scores. And if you have that app on your phone, you can easily keep up with the results and the team scores as we go along. But prior to that app, unless you had a scoreboard where you could change the score as we went along, parents would want to know how things are going, and they'd have to keep track on their own. And so they would write something down on note paper or whatever. So I always provided them with a sheet similar to my own, which has which has a column for marking in the team scores and the accumulating scores as the placing during the race and then the accumulated scores as you go along.
Now, as we're watching on YouTube and we're trying to describe on the radio here, Mark, what we're seeing, we saw a diver, I believe, from each school. Are they just doing a practice dive right now or just kind of getting a feel for the board? Or
Yeah, they had warmed up already, before the meet started. The teams arrive an hour earlier or even more. And they'll get on the board, go run through their list. Right now, they're just probably doing some jump-ins, forward and backward jump-ins, just to kind of reacquaint themselves with and the reaction of the board, and so they're ready to go. They're not going to run through all 6 of their dives or anything, but just about a 10-minute break here just to get back on the board, get a feel for how it's bouncing, where the fulcrum ought to be, make some fine adjustments there. But other than that, they've already warmed up their dives and they'll be ready to go here in just a few minutes.
Now, when you were an athlete in the pool, Mark, were you also a diver or were you strictly a swimmer?
Actually, I started out as a diver.
Okay.
Yeah, I was a hot dog diver at the local pool. We lived across the street from the pool, so obviously
Nice.
It was an easy thing.
Was that up in northwestern Minnesota?
It was in Thief River Falls, yep. And so we lived across the street from the pool, so it was an easy place to go for entertainment and to keep me busy. And there was a few of us that were kind of hot dogging on the board, and I got pretty good at doing acrobatic things on the board. And when I was in 8th grade, I was downstairs watching the Flintstones, whatever, and after school. And a couple of my neighbors, or distant neighbors down the road, who knew that I was a hot dog diver and seen me before, they came downstairs and practically kidnapped me and said, "You're coming over to the pool. You're going to be our diver. You're going to be one of our divers." So that's how I started, and it was a good place for me to start because I was one of those 95-pound scrawny, 8th graders, or probably not even 95 pounds at that point. But then, as my career went on, as I turned a freshman, I did start swimming a few laps, and so the coach put me in the breaststroke. That's kind of like the throwaway stroke. Hey, you can swim the breaststroke too, whatever.
All right. So
I would swim the breaststroke, and then my sophomore year, I started mainly swimming. I just asked the coach if I could swim the distance race. At that time in swimming history, it was a 400 freestyle. I said, "Can I swim the 400?" He said, "Sure," which I suppose he was delighted to find somebody else that wanted to swim the distance race. And the next thing you know, I was one of the better swimmers on the team as a young, scrawny kid still, but the next thing you know, as I continued to develop and grow and get a little stronger, I'm still not that big, but I did have a lot of endurance. I found that out, and I was racing all the bigger kids, and lo and behold, I ended up my swimming career as a section record holder and a team record holder, which still stands today in the 500-yard free.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
Well, and it's been a while since you've been in high school.
Yeah, it's been a few years. 1976, my graduating year. So,
wow.
Yeah, it still stands.
So a prowler by trade then, before you ventured to Bemidji State.
Yes. Yep.
Very good.
Yeah.
As we're seeing the divers continue their warm-ups, again, we will have the diving competition coming up For those that might be watching on our YouTube channel tonight, Mark, what can they expect to see over the course of this event? Is it going to be a situation where each of the divers gets to try 6 different dives and then a different type of dive with each of those dive attempts on the board?
Right. There's 6 dives total in a dual meet. Their first dive is going to be something called a voluntary dive. So there's a different dive category every week. I don't know what it is this week. We'll find out the first dive. But, the first week of the season where you can have a competition, there'll be a forward dive, some kind of forward dive you have to do. It's called a voluntary dive. The next week it'll be a back dive. And so they'll be required to at least dive in that category as a voluntary dive, and then they'll have to perform 4 other categories during the course of the competition. So they'll be doubling up on one of the categories, obviously, or 2 of them.
Yeah.
But yeah, they'll have to try. I guess they'll try forward, back, inward, twister. Some of them might do a reverse dive of some sort. Could be a somersault or a dive or a 1.5, what have you. But that's what we're going to see tonight.
Yep, so I believe the divers for the teams are done with their warm-ups. And I do want to let you know, after we wrap up the diving event, we will have our mid-meet report brought to you by Eldon's Fresh Foods in Alexandria, similar to the mid-game report. But again, we're at the Brainerd High School Aquatic Center tonight, so it ends up being the mid-meet report. And Mark, I know that on the YouTube screen, we don't have the judges, but are they the ones across the pool from where we're at looking at what's going on? Or
no, actually those are the videographers from the teams.
Okay.
Yep, so those are our student managers over there from each team.
Okay.
We have Grace Erke and Ning Zheng.
Okay.
Over there on the left in the red and white, and then one of the gals from Brainerd. The judges are on the near side of the pool.
Yep, the first dive, I believe, Tony Bassett for Brainerd running exhibition here, and it looked like he approached the dive and then went with a back dive and a little bit of a tuck and then going in.
Yep, that was an inward dive, so they face the ladder of the diving board, and then they do something towards the board as they're standing on the end of it.
And now Ryan Sandin, he'll be a JV diver here, and he's now the one up on the board, situated off to the far side from our vantage point.
He's again going to do an inward dive. That must be the voluntary dive of the week then.
Yep, arms fully extended right at the moment here. And again,
inward dive tuck.
Yep, and he enters the pool, and not a lot of wake, so...
Nope, that was a pretty clean entry. He went vertical, very little splash, not too far away from the board, so he was rewarded with a good score.
Yep, and now it's going to be Eli Peterson up next for Alexandria. And again, he will, again, face the ladder, and so...
This is an 8th... No, this is Eli Wimmer, right?
I think the scoreboard has Eli Peterson.
Eli Peterson, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
So he enters the pool, and
it's a little further away from the board on that one.
Yep. Looks like his score will be 21.7. So now we'll have Crew Mouche coming up next for the Alexandria Cardinals. Of course, he's one of the athletes that placed. He went 11th in Class A at the State Boys Swimming and Diving Competition back at the end of last season. So he now again faces the ladder away from the pool, and
excellent dive.
Yep, moved up and entered the water very cleanly, and his score 28.5. So
a good distance from the board, very nice vertical entry, toes pointed. Arms extended nicely, and very little splash, so he was rewarded with 28.5 points.
Yeah, so he becomes the third Alexandria diver up on the board here. And the next diver is up now, and now he's going to step down. So
is that Crew back on the board right now?
Well, that's what I was wondering, but
that was not Crew, the last diver then.
Okay, so they must have had a switch, and So now they're
switching the order, huh?
Yeah. So got a momentary stoppage of action. This is event number 5. It is our diving event here in the boys swimming and diving competition at the Brainerd High School Aquatics Center. Team score at the moment has Brainerd up by 13, 37.5 points to Alexandria's 24.5 through 4 of the swimming events. So I think they're going to
have some sort of a computer problem, or maybe their laptop isn't jiving with their scoreboard computer.
Yeah,
which does happen.
Yeah. So I know the Aquatic Center here at Brainerd, they've got a video board that spectators can see. It's off to the left, or kind of on the north side of the pool here. So that's where I'm kind of looking at, the judges' scores that they award. But we do have a stoppage here before we get set to resume. And
what do you want to talk about?
Yes, I know we touched upon the old Brainerd High School pool during the pre-meet coverage, but you made a return to coaching, Mark.
Yes.
I think you had been, like I said, you've been a regular, as has your wife Cindy, at the Discovery Middle School pool really since you retired as head coach. But what inspired you to make the return back into the pool to lead the Alexandria girls swimming and diving team this fall?
Well, in June, found out, I didn't even get a call or anything, but I found out word of mouth that in June there was not any coaches. They had either moved away from town or decided to take on a different position where they figured they couldn't swing the coaching aspect with that change. So there wasn't any coaches, not a diving coach. Aaron decided to stick with the boys. He had recently gotten married and wanted a little more time with his family. So there was no coaches in June. And it was kind of one of those things where they look to see who's available, And
okay.
They've ever gone, well, I wonder if Mark would care to try that again. And I knew that there wasn't. I mean, I just know that there's not. Coaches aren't a dime a dozen around here, and especially in a sport, in a minor sport like this. And so I thought, well, I'll just put my name in there. At least I have a choice. Well, it didn't take long. When you put
you
your
were
name
the
in.
number one choice then.
Yeah. And so, and I was talking to Steve Kluver shortly after that, the assistant coach for Kathy Walker. And he said, well, you're refreshed after 10 years. You've taken that time off. You've rejuvenated. Right. Not that I left the pool, because I was always involved, like you mentioned, with the scoring table and meet management. I was kind of the meet manager for all the swimming meets, whether they were middle school or varsity meets. So I never left the pool. In fact, Kathy invited me back whenever I wanted to come to visit the practices and actually help out as a volunteer. So I'd help out with stroke techniques and so forth. So I kept, semi-busy, but didn't have the responsibilities of a head coach. But Steve said, well, you're refreshed. You're ready to go. And, when I hit the pool deck, it didn't seem, it seemed pretty familiar to me. I was like, I can do this. I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
It was familiar, and it felt normal. It wasn't like I didn't do anything for 10 years or didn't have any affiliation with the teams during that 10 years. I was always there. I'm constantly watching strokes, and of course when Kathy allowed, I would help. But kids would tap me on the shoulder and ask advice, or how would you swim the 500 free if you were swimming it?
Yeah.
So I would get lots of people asking. They knew who I was. I never really left. I mean, I had a rapport with the people I left with, as underclassmen. Of course, they still ask me questions and stuff, but it just kind of trickled on, and I was probably helping 3 or 4 or 5 kids a season, and it was very rewarding. And of course, when you're allowed to do that, that's nice too. Keep me involved a little bit whenever I could, and along with meet managing, I've tolerated the season well, and so I think I can make it a few more years. I told the athletic director, I said, I'm not going to make a 30-year career out of this again.
Right.
I'm not going to have 2 30-year careers. So keep your eyes open. But when you get back into it, and I've got several parents that I coached that have kids on the team right now.
Right.
So I will probably not be able to get out of this for 3 or 4 years, because if I quit now, those parents will be mad because I wasn't able to coach their kids through their
well, and they have that
experience.
personal experience of having worked for you as a student athlete previously.
Absolutely.
And obviously that it must have left a good taste, because as you point out, a lot of those people that you see at swimming and diving meets, they have daughters that are competing in the fall. And I'm sure we have the situation here that some of the boys for Alexandria probably had fathers that had the chance to compete for you.
Absolutely. That's happened all through my career. It's odd, though, that some of the kids that I have coached are in their middle 50s right now, which is always strange to walk up to somebody and say, well, when did you graduate? How old are you? Well, I'm 56. Oh, my gosh.
Okay. Yeah.
Really makes you feel old. But
yeah, I talked to Josh McKeag, the head coach for the Brainerd Warriors, and I think he took over for John Zemke, who now retired as the Brainerd head coach. But I said to Coach McKeag, because he's a young fella, he's situated, if you're watching on YouTube when the swimming events resume, he's got a black shirt and a blue ball cap on. And I said, how much experience do you have here? Well, it's my first year. So, and he's probably old enough to be my son. But, so it is, that's one of the neat things about, being involved in sporting activities as long as you have. So, you get the opportunity to coach a lot of different people. So
generational.
I think we're going to have the opportunity to resume the diving competition again. We were getting through the first round of the 6 rounds of diving, and again, we've got about a half a dozen athletes that are set to compete on the diving board. But
I'm still not sure what was going on. The referee's talking to the divers now, so I don't know if there's something that he's relaying that was that kind of got messed up a little bit or whatever, but it looks to me like crew is getting back up on the board. Or it seemed like that was crew that already dove, but I don't know what happened there. But anyway, he's going to start his inward dive again.
Yep. So this will actually count as his first dive of the night.
Right.
So
apparently.
And again, good bounce off the board, and pretty nice drop into the pool. Again, very little wake, and
you got the same amount of points.
Okay,
28.5.
2 to get 28.5. So now
very consistent.
So now Weston TC will be the one up on the board here for the Brainerd Warriors in his first dive, and again. He's looking away from many of the spectators here, looking toward the south wall here. So he's got his heels at the edge of the diving board, getting ready to do his first dive. And he is in a little bit of a tuck, and then the forward entry there. And
so his inward dive tuck, it wasn't quite the tuck that I think he wanted. He didn't quite get the height. Didn't quite get the tuck, and so 18.2 is his final score.
That reflects on his score. So now the defending state champion in Class A, Kyler Cavanaugh, will be up on the board for his first dive of the night.
I was talking with Kyler earlier. He said he's doing some easier dives tonight. He, in practice, was doing some of the harder dives and smacked on the water, and kind of gave him a little bit of a headache. So he's doing some easier ones today. That was an inward dive pike, and he got 27 points. I don't think he was happy with his pike on that one. Wasn't quite that snappy.
Yep, so he scores a 27, so at least through the first round, Crew Mouche has the lead for Alexandria, and now I believe Brainerd's going to have David Harath up on the board.
Yeah, David Harith Jr.
Or Harith, yes.
Yep, Harith Jr. One of the diving judges is David Harith Sr. And when I was a college student and got through my eligibility, I coached in Bemidji at Bemidji High School, and I actually coached David Harith Sr.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
So.
Yep. No.
My athletes are everywhere, Dave.
Yes, they are. You're very well connected. So. So I think they've, what I've seen up on the video board is they've bypassed David Harith here. So I don't know if he withdrew, and I believe this is going to be the second dive now for Tony Bassett for Brainerd.
Yeah, I only see 5 divers back there now, so.
3 from Alexandria, Eli Peterson, Crew Mouche, and Connor Kavanaugh. And this is Tony Bassett up on the board.
So this is a back dive straight. He's standing similarly to an inward dive, but he's going to go away from the board, not towards the board.
Yeah, he kind of went in at an angle and
wasn't a very clean entry, as they say.
Yeah,
and
so
he got 19.55 points.
Yeah, and I believe he is competing exhibition for Brainerd, and Ryan Sandin is competing at JV for Alexandria. So this will be Ryan Sandin's second dive. And I believe the board indicates inward 1 somersault tuck here for his second dive.
So he's doubling up on the inward category. Again, bouncing off the board and moving towards the board.
On the board right now, and then he tucks in and enters feet first, and
not bad. He was a little twisted, not quite straight. He was a little turned.
So they gave Ryan Sandin a score of 20 on that second dive. So here comes Eli Peterson now up. His first dive was a score of 21.7. So he'll do the inward 1 somersault tuck as well. And he now tucks and kind of enters the water there, a little bit of distance from the board itself.
He was a little tentative in his takeoff, and so he didn't get very high. And then when you're not snappy on the board, your somersault doesn't get very snappy either. So he ended up almost entering the water in a little bit of that residual tuck.
Yeah. So now it's Crew Mouche's turn for his second dive. And very clean there, and Crew Mouche entering the pool. I think for those of you watching on YouTube, we're going to give you a replay of that last dive, and that's brought to you by Quality Real Estate, Crew Mouche's second dive of the competition, and I think he scored very well on that. I think upwards of 30. So
that was a pretty good dive. He got up nice and high, got a nice tight tuck, and was able to do 1.5 somersaults, as opposed to the other kids that were doing 1 somersault.
Now it's Weston These's second dive of the competition here. First dive went to 18.2 points. And did a good tuck, got away from the board, and entered in the tuck, and it was an inward 1 somersault tuck. I can share that with you because that's what the video board off to the right is indicating. Or off to our
got
left.
away from the board just a little bit, and when you're trying to go, when you end up going, back towards the other side of the diving well, you can't do your entire somersault that well. You need to get up in the air, get vertical more.
Yep. So they awarded him, I believe, 17.6.
Right.
So now Kyler Kavanaugh is on the board for his second of the dives so far, and it looks like he's going to do an inward 1.5 somersault pike here. As he has his heels on the board. Now up and again very close to the board, but yet his entry was clean into the pool. So
you can get away with getting a little close to the board, but there is a limit that the judges will allow. That must have been pretty close to the limit, but he was well rewarded for that nice dive.
Yeah, 46.8, I believe, on his second dive. So now, I don't know if we go back to the top with Tony Bassett.
Yeah, David Harith is on there now.
Yeah.
And he had a nice 1.5.
Yeah.
Inward 1.5 tuck. A 6, 6.5, 7, 42.9 points.
So that would put him upwards of 70 right now, but now we go back Tony Bassett with a third dive here.
Doing a back one somersault tuck. So he's going to travel. He's going to throw away from the board.
And he did that and entered toes first and entered the pool. Not a lot of wake there, so.
Needed to be a little more vertical. He got away from the board a little bit and didn't finish his somersault totally. So he ended up going in a little short of vertical. 13 points, a little over 13 points for that one.
13 and a half there, so. Now Ryan Sandin, third JV dive here. I believe his point total at the moment, 43.8 through his first 2 dives. And this will be a back one somersault tuck. Again, facing the ladder on the board. And got up and again went into the pool pretty clean there.
Yep, nice height. Maybe not the tightest of tucks, but a 4.5, 5, and a 5.5 for 22.5 points.
Yep, so 22.5 will be his score on that. And now Eli Peterson steps up to the board for Alexandria. Combined score of 35.3 through his first 2 dives. He's going to do a back one somersault tuck here. And again, he got into the pool, pretty well. Mark, it looked like his feet were a little bit spread. Could that be problematic?
Yeah, that would be something that the judges would probably see and probably discount a little bit.
Yeah, it looks like he was awarded a score of 15.75 on that dive. So
got a little twisted on his entry as well.
So
back to Crew.
Yeah.
He's going to do a back and a half tuck.
His last dive was 38.5 points. I think I may have misspoken earlier, but third dive here for Crew Mouche.
Oh.
And oh my, he was tucked in pretty well. And Mark, it seemed like that was a perfect spread as he entered the pool.
That was a very nice dive. Nice height, nice tuck.
I think we're going to
2 6.5s and a 7 for 40 points.
Yep, and I think we're going to get another view of that on Crew Mouche's third dive here. Our instant replays on our YouTube channel being brought to you by Quality Real Estate of Alexandria. And again, good-looking form by Crew Mouche, the state diver who placed 11th in Class A year ago. So now Weston Thesey is back on the diving board for the Brainerd Warriors. And he went with a back one somersault tuck. And again, it looked like his bounce off the board was pretty good, Mark, but he got some distance from the board.
Yes, you don't want to be too far away from the board.
And I think they awarded him a score of 19.5 there. So
yep, makes sense.
And now it's Kyler Cavanaugh back on the board. Combined score through the first 2 dives, 73.8. So he's going to go with a forward 1.5 somersault, 1 twist free. He gets high and he gets into the pool. And again, very clean looking form there for Kyler Cavanaugh. And I think he'll get a nice score there. I think up over 46 points again.
3 7s.
Yep. So,
very nice.
So he's definitely expanding his score for.
He's about 13 points ahead of Crew now?
Yeah, I believe so. And
Crew must be in second, I would guess.
Yeah. David Harris now, third dive, inward 2 somersault tuck here.
That's a difficult dive. He did that one pretty well.
Yeah, tucked in real nicely, and the feet came out at the right time. I would guess he'd get a pretty good score here.
Yeah. Two 5.5s and a 5.
Yep, 44.8.
Yeah. Very nice. Tough to get around 2 times and inward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
lots of kids are starting to do that one though now.
Yeah. Round 4 of the diving competition coming up, and again, the young man approaching on the board right now, Tony Bassett for Brainerd. This will be a back one, half twist straight.
Back dive, half twist straight, yeah.
And again, entered at an angle and works his way in.
Yep, a little far out from the board, and consequently didn't get quite vertical on that one. And as a result, 18 points. 2 2.5s and a 3.
Yeah. So Ryan Sandin is up next. His combined score through 3 dives, 66.3. And it looks like indicating here he's going to go with a reverse 1 somersault tuck.
So this one you go off the board forward, but you throw your body backwards.
So we're going to see a little bit of a twist here. And
not too bad.
Yep. Looked like he entered. Again, not a lot of wake as he was getting into the pool there. And we'll see what the score is awarded for what turns out to be his 4th dive of the 6 tonight. Again, this is the 5th event of our varsity JV swimming competition, the diving event here.
19.2 points on that dive.
Yeah, so that puts his combined 4-dive score over 85. Eli Peterson up next, his combined score 51.05. He'll go with a forward 1 somersault half twist free here. And again, a little bit of a twist and the entry into the pool, pretty solid there.
A little bit over, not quite vertical, went past vertical a little bit. 19.55 points. You got a 3.5 and 2 4s on that one.
Yep, so I believe that puts him at about 70.6 on his score. Crew Mouche through 3 dives has a score of 107.
He's in reverse 1.5.
And again, another good looking dive there for Crew Mouche. This is probably going to get him some nice points, almost 41, 40.95, which would be his highest ranked dive so far tonight.
Yep, 3 6.5s on that one, just a tinch over.
So I believe that brings Crew Mouche's combined diving score to 147.95. Weston Thesey up next for Brainerd. He's going with a back dive, half twist straight here. And again, angles away from the pool, has the arms spread, entering the water, and
got away from the board just a little bit, and probably threw that twist before he left the board a little bit as well. Judges don't like to see that either, and so got one of the judges' scores was a 1.5. So
yeah, so I believe 14.4 was his score. So Kyler Kavanaugh with a 13-point lead over the field after 3 dives. This is dive number 4, a forward 1.5 somersault pike. He's up high on the bounce off the board and entering the pool. And again, good looking work by the defending Class A state champion, Kyler Kavanaugh.
He gets so high, and everything is, when you get high like that, everything can be, all those twists and somersaults can be done more slowly, and it's such a pretty dive when you can do things, and there's not a lot of chaos in your form.
Right. So 34 was Kyler Kavanaugh's score for dive number 4. David Harith now back on the board for Brainerd. And he enters the water, back to somersault tuck, and
nicely done.
Yep, one of his better dives of the night.
3 6s.
Yep, 36 points overall. So 152.2, I believe, would be his total. Entering the 5th round of diving. Again, a couple more rounds here before we wrap diving up. Tony Bassett back on the board for the Brainerd Warriors. Goes with a forward dive tuck. And again, got some distance from the board before entering the pool, and he'll score a 13.8.
Yep, 3.5 and 2 4s.
So 85.85, I think, is going to be his score through 5 dives. Ryan Sandin has a score of 85.5 right now, entering dive number 5. Looks like he's going with a forward 1 somersault half twist free here.
So he'll be facing the diving board when he goes in.
And he's up, and he does make that turn facing the board, enters the water. Again, not a lot of wake there, and let's see what the score is going to be. 22.95.
4 4.5 5 on that one.
Yeah, so out of the 5 dives that he has had so far, that is his second best score. Now Eli Peterson for Alexandria. He'll come with a forward 1.5 somersault tuck. His 5th dive for Alexandria. And again, did exactly what was indicated, entered the water, and didn't, again, make a big splash. So pretty
not too bad.
Straightforward dive there, and he'll get 24 points for that.
4.5, 5, 5.5.
So now
4.5, 5s are, they're adequate dives.
Yeah.
That's kind of the judges' scoring. If it's an adequate dive, it's a 4.5, 5.
Now Crew Mouche with his 5th dive. He's up, and he is into the water on a forward 1.5 somersault, 1 twist free. And waiting to see the score. Again, another score in the 40s, so 3 of his 5 dives have been up in the 40s. I think 40.7 will be the number there.
Well, 2 6s and a 6.5 on that one. He'd probably like to clean that one up a little bit. He looked like he was struggling a little bit to finish off that dive.
Weston Thesey now on the board for the Brainerd Warriors. Again, this is event number 5. It's the diving competition in the Central Lakes Conference dual meet at the Brainerd High School Aquatic Center. Now tuck and then forward dive after the tuck, and Weston Thesey able to make that, and he'll end up scoring 18.8.
5, 5, 5.5 on that one.
So I believe that will put him at 88.5. Now Kyler Kavanaugh at 154 points with dive number 5 of the night. Reverse 1.5 somersault tuck. And again, he gets very, very high and enters the water. Again, pretty straightforward there.
Makes it look easy.
Yeah. I guess, all that hard work to become a state champion pays off. I think 39.9, I think, was the number there.
I think you got 2 6 and 2 6.5s on that one.
So 193.9 would be his score with 1 dive left. And David Harith is actually in a pretty tight matchup here with Kyler Kavanaugh. Harith with his 5th dive. Back 1.5 somersault with a half twist free.
Pretty nice looking dive, not too far away from the board. Pretty vertical on the entry.
And we're waiting to see what the judges award. It looks like 34.85.
Yeah, 5, 5.5, 6 on that one.
So that brings his total to 187.05. Right now, Kyler Kavanaugh with the lead at 193.9. Crew Mouche very close behind at 188. Tony Bassett now in for what turns out to be the final one of his 6 dives of the night. And he'll score 18.2, so...
A 4 and 2 4.5s.
Yep, so I believe 104.05 will be his score on the night. Ryan Sandin competing junior varsity for the Alexandria Cardinals here with his final dive, a forward 1.5 somersault tuck. His score right now, 108.45 before that final dive. Now approaches, gets a good hop off the board, and was able to tuck in and get through on, should be a pretty good score, 20.8 for his final dive of the night.
4 and 2 4.5s on that one. Just got away from the board just a tad and maybe wasn't quite vertical on the entry.
Now Eli Peterson coming to the board for the Alexandria Cardinals, his last dive of the competition tonight. And he'll do a reverse dive tuck here. Forward into the pool and then tuck, and then he enters, got a little bit wide of the board and then in. Let's see how they score it. Looks like it's going to be 17.6 for Eli Peterson. So that will make, I believe, his final score 112.2. Crew Mouche with his final dive. This will be a forward 2 somersault pike. Up on the board.
See how high you can get on this one to finish this off.
Yeah, and
not too bad.
Yeah, came in feet first there, and let's see what he's going to be awarded for that final score for him on the night, 40.25. So I believe that would put his score at 228.9, which at the moment has the lead, but Brainerd has its best diver ahead, and Kyler Kavanaugh still has yet to put in his last dive. Weston Thesey now up on the board for the Brainerd Warriors here. Forward 1.5 somersault tuck is what he plans on doing here. And again, good tuck. Again, got a little bit away from the board. Entered the water fairly clean. He'll get a score of 20.8, which will be his best of the 6 dives on the night. 109.3, I believe, will be his final score. Now the defending Class A state champion, Kyler Cavanaugh, with a back one tuck here for his final dive. Up, tuck, into the pool, straight. And let's see if we can view that again. Another instant replay presented to you on our Voice of Alexandria YouTube channel by Quali Real Estate. I believe they scored 32 and 2.5 on that. So
that's one of his signature dives. He makes that one look so pretty.
So now David Harrith with his final dive of the night. Forward 2.5 somersault tuck, and he was able to keep that tuck in, spreading out toward the end, and that might be enough to, it gets him close.
225.25, just a couple tenths off of Kyler and a couple points away from Crew.
Yep, 225. So, yeah, I think Kyler Cavanaugh is going to come out on top here in the diving competition. So Alexandria will get some team points. Brainerd will secure some team points as well. And we're going to move into our mid-meet report, and that's going to be coming your way shortly after we hear a few words on KXRA and see some messages on the Voice of Alexandria live stream channel from our Cardinal Sports Boosters.
When you want your closing to go as smooth as possible, ask for Integrity Title. We may be a bit obsessed about our jobs and the details that go into it, but that's what makes us such a good choice for your real estate closing. Ask for Integrity Title, the title closing geeks.
Casa Jalisco. Take a trip south of the border to a place where you can savor the flavors of authentic Mexican cuisine. Casa Jalisco offers a true taste of Mexico without the airfare. Casa Jalisco, your Mexican getaway in downtown Alexandria.
Life can sometimes feel like you're navigating through construction. You hit a detour, run out of gas, or you're going the wrong way on a one-way street. But Lakeland Mental Health Center is here to help you get back to the right path. Visit lmhc.org. Help today for a better tomorrow.
Hi, I'm Mark Lee from Mark Lee Excavating and Asphalt and Paving. Most of my crew has been here for decades.
The reason I've been here for so long is I love the variety and I love the different tasks throughout the day. A chance to operate many different pieces of equipment in any day.
Working here, I definitely like working with the crew. The guys are involved in training you and definitely help developing you as a person.
If I was looking for a place of employment, I would definitely apply here.
Give me a call and visit my website because we're hiring and I want to talk to you about your next career with us.
What's your number?
I drove 60 miles to get a great deal from Quality Toyota. I drove 45 miles to get a great deal from Quality Toyota.
Quality Toyota.
Getting in and out of the pharmacy is easy with Trum Drug's app, RX Local. Download the app, choose Trum Drug as your pharmacy, use it for medication refills and reminders. Trum Drug, locally owned, locally loved.
I see generations who are passionate about what they did. I hope that I can leave a legacy of compassion for people and love for family and friends.
Where you start today is not where you'll finish tomorrow. At Alexandria College, we know you have big plans for the future. Find your calling and be a legend.
Hi, Carl Qualley with Qualley Real Estate. Our business approach is based on what we call the 4 E's: experience, expertise, ethics, and energy. Qualities that led us to be voted Best Real Estate Company 3 years in a row. Find your real estate coach at Qualley Real Estate, where we protect your money.
KXRA Alexandria, and thanks for watching tonight on our Voice of Alexandria live stream channel on YouTube. Mark Storhaug and DMAC Dave McClurg. We've got JP Boleen as our videographer. And Mark, after we kind of tallied up the numbers from the diving, I think Alexandria overall had Crew Mouche end up going first. So I think the Cardinals get 12 out of a possible 16 points. So they've actually closed ground as we get set for the second portion of tonight's meet.
Yep, that'd be 41.5 to 36.5. So we go from 13 points back to just 6 now.
Yep, so good inroads by Alexandria. Of course, both Crew Mouche and Kyler Kavanaugh, divers from the state meet last year. Kyler Kavanaugh, the defending state champion, ended up with a good assortment of dives here. Crew Mouche actually scored at 40 or above on his last 4 dives of the night and would end up with the first place finish with a composite score of 228.9. Prior to that, Mark, we had the 4 swimming events, first of the 3 relays on the night, and then 3 individual events. What were some of the things you could take out of the development of the meet tonight, where Alexandria did get a couple of firsts, but it seems like Brainerd is able to show off its depth a little bit?
Yeah, exactly right. We only outscored them in diving so far, so we've got a ways to go. We, like I say, got beat by 6 points in the opening race. We split the points in the 200 free. We got beat by 2 points in the IM, and we were 5 points in back of them after the during the 50 free. So not that we're that far behind, but we've got to make up some ground here, and if we want to make it a competitive meet. Otherwise, Brainerd is going to show off its talent and start pulling away a little bit here.
Well, what's interesting is Brainerd's dual meet win was against Sauk Rapids Rice back in December, I believe, down in Sauk Rapids. And ironically, Alexandria was to travel to Sauk Rapids in December, and that's the meet that got weathered out. And they'll make that up, I believe, next Tuesday at Sauk Rapids Rice High School. But yeah, I think as we kind of talked about during our broadcast earlier tonight, Mark, Caden Abel and Cooper Running are the 2 members of the Alexandria area high school class of 2025. So, while the Cardinals look to be competitive tonight and have some great races, the future bodes well for this Alexandria team.
Right. It's nice to have a nice complement of kids in each of the grades. And so, having the 9 juniors and the 8 sophomores, along with the 6 freshmen, bodes well. We hate to have a meet or a team that doesn't have any senior leadership or doesn't have enough senior leadership. The seniors on the team have been around the longest. They probably developed the most skills, and if we had 8 of those, boy, I tell you, I think the score would be a lot different.
So right now the margin favors Brainerd, 41.5 to 36.5 for Alexandria. Again, 7 events to come, including a couple of the relays, and then 5 individual swimming events to wrap up the 12 events scheduled tonight here at the Brainerd High School Aquatic Center. Our thanks to Eldon's Fresh Foods for presenting our mid-meet report from Brainerd High School tonight. We will be back with the second portion of the Alexandria boys swimming and diving competition after we hear these words from our Alexandria Cardinal Sports Booster.
What's your number?
We've driven 57 miles to Quality Toyota to get a great deal, and we've done it 13 times.
Quality Toyota.
Feel confident. Feel inspired. Embrace your unique beauty at 6th and Broadway Clothing. From expertly curated collections to personalized styling and color analysis services, you can embrace style as beautiful as you.
Get great service at Alexandria Motors. Serving your family for generations and generations to come. Stop in for a great deal on your next vehicle. Alexandria Motors. One low price, plain and simple, always.
Welcome to the spirit of Lake Town hospitality. Welcome to D. Mike's Resort Bar and Grill. From legacy locals, seasonal visitors, to traveling teams, you are our community. Come share in our rustic flavors, modern flair, and authentic roots. Legacy inspired, community infused.
Better water starts with EcoWater. Get started today and discover EcoWater's products and expertise for the perfect solution. Visit WeFixWaterMN.com with offices in Alexandria, Fergus Falls, Glenwood, and Morris.
Premier Collision guarantees your full satisfaction. From a simple dent to major bodywork, Premier Collision will fix your vehicle right. Stop by for a free estimate or go to PremierCollisionMN.com. Premier Collision, excellent results, a friendly attitude, and fair prices.
You've seen them, craved them. You voted them the best. Their Smoke and Brews and Q's get their unreal smoked barbecue for catering, drop-offs, or events.
Hi, this is Schmitty from Smoke and Brews and Q's. Our obsession is the meat. Our passion is what makes it great.
Who do you turn to if you or a loved one is experiencing a mental health crisis? We're here. Region 4 South Mobile Crisis Team will come to you by calling 701-364-0431.
Fresh, family, locally loved. Eldon's Fresh Foods. Eldon's Fresh Foods.
Yard butterfly event, and it looks like Cooper Running is on his way to getting a second victory of the night as he's going to touch the wall, and very impressive time for Cooper Running, going at 53.79 seconds. Micah Kitzman, who is in lane 7 for Alexandria, is going to get the 4th place points here, and then Brainerd will go 2, 3, and 5 on the event. Peyton Hagelin will get the 5th place touch, and then the 3rd place touch goes to Drew Hagelin, and Nathan Chaussee ends up with the 2nd place performance. So Alexandria will get the 6 points for the win, but 2 points for the 4th place finish. So Mark, if my numbers are correct, that means the split of the points again.
Right, yeah, we don't want splits. We need to outscore them a few times here now.
So updating the numbers now on the Glenwood State Bank scoreboard, 49.5 for Brainerd and 44.5 for Alexandria.
Don't you love keeping track of that half, Dave?
Yes. I noticed even on the scoreboard, and JP, our videographer, was saying that he would have to do a little bit of freelance work to, try to get that 0.5. But I see the scoreboard here, the video board, they're not putting the half points
No,
on.
they must not have enough digits,
right.
I guess. I don't know. I think they could probably change that if they... I'm sure you could change it to a 3-digit score if they wanted to, but...
Now what we've got is the junior varsity 100 freestyle, so we'll have a JV heat and a varsity heat as well. Gavin Gilbertson is in lane 3 for the Cardinals, Gunnar Rock in lane 5, and Gavin Bryan in lane number 7. So as you watch on the YouTube channel, Gavin Bryan is in the furthest lane toward the top of the screen. And right now, Brainerd doing really well with their performers in lanes 4 and 6 here. That would be Alex Keepers in lane 6, David Harith in lane 4, and then Mullen Bretney is in lane number 2 for Brainerd. So now the swimmers making their turn, entering as they go down the stretch here. This is the JV 100 freestyle here. And it looks like Brainerd's going to go 1-2 in the JV event, and the Cardinals will get the points. Actually, I think the scoreboard indicates Gunnar Rock ends up with 4th, so I think it's David Harith and Alex Keepers going 1-2, and then Mullen Brantney in 3rd place. Gavin Bryan for the Alexandria Cardinals will go number 5. So now we move on to the varsity competition. The Cardinals' Andrew Rock will swim exhibition in this one. Alexandria will have Zach Iverson in lane 3, Addie Newman in lane 5, and Luke Christensen in lane 7. All of them are wearing their white swimming caps. Brainerd will have Weston Thesey in lane 2, Kyler Carlson in lane 4, and Henry McCulley in lane 6. And again, a nice start for all of the athletes here. And it looks like Brainerd's going to have one of its swimmers touch the wall first. So first 25 yards in the 100 free have been completed. And it looks like the Warriors will continue to hold that lead midway through the 100 freestyle. Alexandria in a situation right now where in the middle, I think Zach Iverson trying to maintain competition for 2nd place. He's got about 30 yards to go. It looks like Brainerd might be going 1-2 here, as they will have Kyler Carlson touching the wall first. And I think Henry McCulley will go 2nd, and Zach Iverson will get the number 3 finish. Weston Teasy will go 4, so I think Addie Newman is 6th, and Luke Christensen up in lane number 7 finishes in 5th place. So again, Brainerd will get some points to pad their lead there, going with the 1-2-4. So Alexandria third and fifth for 4 points there to Brainerd's 12. So the Warriors have spread the lead back out, I believe now 61.5 to 48.5, if my calculations are correct there. And now we have the 500 freestyle, and this will be one heat only. You have a couple of athletes that will be swimming exhibition. That will be Micah Overshiner in lane number 1. He'll be down at the bottom of the screen if you're watching on YouTube. And then Kian Duda will be the one swimming exhibition up in lane number 8 for Brainerd. So he'll be in the lane closest to the Warriors bench. As you're watching on our YouTube channel tonight, Brainerd's bench is at the top of the screen. As you see the words Brainerd Warriors along the east wall here at the pool. That's where Brainerd's athletes are situated. The Alexandria Cardinal athletes are actually down below us, out of our view and out of the camera's view as well. Now, Mark, being that this is a 500-yard freestyle event, this is one where you have the athletes that are going to be competing a lot of laps. This is going to take several minutes to complete, and I think if you notice off to the left, I think this is an event where you have teammates that are actually showing numbers. Is that the number of laps that they are on? Like you see all of them showing 1 off to our left.
That is correct. It's hard to keep track of 20 lengths sometimes when you're looking at your competition, trying to stay focused on where you are in the pool in comparison to the other swimmers. So it's nice to have a counter on the far end of the pool. They dunk their lap counter into the water so that the swimmer, when they look up for a turn, can see the number of laps that they've done at that point.
Now Alexandria has Tony Olson in lane number 3, Eli Wimmer in lane number 5, and Peter Wasek in lane number 7. So it's Eli Wimmer, the one kind of in the middle of the pool. Brainerd has Carter Durkis in lane number 2, Logan Keepers in lane 4, and Bennett Day in lane number 6. And right now I think it's Carter Durkis performing very well at the outset here for Brainerd. He makes the turn, and again, they're approaching 5 laps completed, so they're about 1/4 of the way through the competition here. This is the 500-yard freestyle.
Yeah, the 500-yard free is 20 lengths, so you have to kind of, be patient a little bit. You don't want to sprint out too quickly, but you don't want to go out too slowly. So you kind of got to feather that out as you learn how to swim the race. You probably swim the first 200 in not a relaxed form, but easy speed, and then during these middle hundreds or middle 50s, you want to really maintain focus on your stroke technique. It's easy to get a little sloppy as you're getting a little tired. So you really got to pay attention to what you're doing with your arms and making sure they're being very propulsive. Kids breathe every time, usually on a 500-yard free, to keep that oxygen supply going. And then with about 200 yards left to go, I like to see my athletes make a little bit of a move and then get ready for that final sprint home in the last 100.
So in essence, I think when you're about 200 yards to go, would that be in essence 8 laps that 8 lengths of the pool that you are swimming?
8 lengths of the pool left. That's correct. So when they see the number 11, that'll be 11 lengths. And when they come back, that'll be their 12th length, and that'll be 200 yards to go. That's when you want to really start, perking up a little bit mentally and making sure you're still in competitive and in amongst your fellow performers, and make that last 100. Try to make that count as best as you can and get as high a place finish as possible.
And I believe the lead swimmer now for the Brainerd Warriors has completed the 10th lap. Actually, I believe it's possibly Carter Durkis down in lane number 2, who's actually into his 12th lap right now. I think right next to him, Tony Olson, or Eli Wimmer rather, for Alexandria. I think he's now into his 12th lap as well.
So we're looking at 3rd, 4th, and 5th spot here. So that's not looking good there. When they get 1-2, that's 12 easy points right there. And We're going to be left in the dust here unless we can make a move.
Yep, I believe the scoring here is 6 points for first, 4 for second, 3 for third, 2 for fourth place, and 1 for the fifth place finish. And again, the relay scoring is a little bit different there. You score the top 3 places, and that point breakdown is 8, 4, and 2. So again, Coach Mark Storhaug gracious enough to provide not only a score sheet that he's given me a copy, and he's using a copy of his own, and got a lot of details on this sheet here. So the 500-yard freestyle is in the pool right now. You've got athletes, 3 from each side, that are working to try to gather points for their team. And I think one of the Brainerd swimmers just touched the wall on his 15th lap, so he's completed about 75% of his race. And then the other athletes are doing the same, including Eli Wimmer, who now has less than 5 full laps to go. And right now he is the leading Alexandria swimmer. The other 2 swimmers for the Alexandria Cardinals, Tony Olson and Peter Wasek, now working through their 16th lap as well. Again, the full event is 20 laps, back and forth. So now you're getting some of the athletes as they approach the wall, working right to left as we view things here. They're now down to about 3 laps remaining. And
our leader is on the last lap. That's when you see the orange. The swimmers are alerted the fact that they have 1 length left to go with that orange instead of the number 19.
Okay, so I believe Brainerd's leader right now for the Warriors, this might be Bennett Day. I think he is now into his last lap, and he's looking to work through, and Logan Keepers will get the he's the one that ends up touching the wall. Bennett Day actually gets the second place finish here, so they will get the 1-2. Carter Durkis actually getting the third place points as well. So I think Eli Wimmer will end up being Alexandria's highest finisher here. He will end up with a time of 5:49.72. That will be fourth place finish for him. And we'll see Peter Wasek and Tony Olson still competing. And I think Tony Olson will end up getting the 5th place points for the Alexandria Cardinals. So the Cardinals get just 3 points there, while Brainerd will score a hefty amount. Top 3 places mean 13 points for the Warriors. So we're going to go to another break here as Brainerd is starting to open up a pretty sizable advantage. Glenwood State Bank scoreboard in varsity boys swimming and diving competition at Brainerd. The Warriors lead the Alexandria Cardinals by 23, 74.5 for Brainerd, 51.5 for Alexandria.
I see generations who are passionate about what they did. I hope that I can leave a legacy of compassion for people and love for family and friends.
What's your number?
I drove 60 miles to get a great deal from Quality Toyota. I drove 45 miles to get a great deal from Quality Toyota.
Quality Toyota.
Life can sometimes feel like you're navigating through construction. You hit a detour, run out of gas, or you're going the wrong way on a one-way street. But Lakeland Mental Health Center is here to help you get back to the right path. Visit lmhc.org. Help today for a better tomorrow.
Hi, Carl Qualley with Qualley Real Estate. Our business approach is based on what we call the 4 E's: experience, expertise, ethics, and energy. Qualities that led us to be voted best real estate company 3 years in a row. Find your real estate coach at Qualley Real Estate, where we protect your money.
Our next event is underway, and it's the 200 freestyle relay. So you've got 4 athletes for each of these relays. The Cardinals have in lane 3 Micah Kitzman, Camden Costers, Luke Christensen, and Eli Wimmer. Lane 5 for Alexandria has Addie Newman, Zach Iverson, Andy Wasik, and Cooper Running. Brainerd has in lane number 4 Henry McCulley, Carter Durkis, Logan Keepers, and Bennett Day. And in lane number 6, Jack Tachi, Peyton Hagelin, Drew Hagelin, and one other swimmer. It's Brooks Burkacek for Brainerd. So right now, pretty...
Andy Wasik is in the water right now, and he's going to hand it off to Cooper Running to finish out the race here with the last 50.
Yep, and he's going to get into the pool for his 50 yards of work here. And right now he's doing some nice work. He makes a good turn on the wall off to our left, and now is looking for the finish here. And Alexandria should be getting some nice points here. I think the Cardinals are going to get the first, but looks like Brainerd will end up going 2-3. So the Alexandria A relay will get the first place finish, and that will include Addie Newman, Zach Iverson, Andy Wasik, and Cooper Running. The Brainerd relays, aside of the Alexandria relay, will go 2-3. The Jack Tachi, Peyton Hagelin, Drew Hagelin, Brooks Brakancic relay ends up with the second place performance. So Alexandria will score 8 points to Brainerd 6. And we're going to go to another break here. Updating the numbers on the Glenwood State Bank scoreboard in varsity boys swimming and diving. Brainerd now has 80.5 points. Alexandria has 60.5 points. Actually, I think 59.5.
It's the right time for a getaway. It's the right time for a getaway. Let's get away.
Cenex Midtown Express has fresh made pizza, lunch and breakfast sandwiches, and broaster chicken, live bait, propane, and diesel fuel. Cenex Garfield has groceries, bait, and tackle, and made to order pizza. Cenex Midtown Express, Alexandria, and Cenex Garfield.
Enjoy life at the lake and work for a growing company that offers rewarding careers and cares about your well-being. Agard. We build cool machines and are hiring for multiple positions across the organization. Plus, no-cost health benefits for you and your family.
North Central International. Heavy-duty truck service on long haulers, dump trucks, buses, and specialized heavy-duty rigs. Medium and heavy-duty parts and accessories for all makes of trucks. Just south of I-94 and Highway 29 South in Alexandria.
JP Boline, I am Dave McClurg, coming to you live from the Brainerd High School Aquatics Center. The Brainerd Warriors lead Alexandria. I believe I misspoke on the Cardinals team score going into the break. 59.5 points is the score for Alexandria. 80.5 points is the score for the Brainerd Warriors. What you're seeing on YouTube right now, if you are watching, it is the junior varsity 100-yard backstroke. Weston Berkey is competing for the Alexandria Cardinals. And then Brainerd has two athletes, Peyton Hagelin and Tristan Ryman. And then we'll have the varsity competition where each team will have 3 in the 100 backstroke. And I need to let our studio engineer, Jackson, back at KXRA know we got a little bit behind on our spot progression here. So after the 100-yard backstroke, we're going to have a 60-second break. And then we'll have the 100-yard breaststroke as a standalone event in our next set. But after the 100-yard varsity backstroke, the break will be forthcoming. So Weston Berkey ends up placing third. Tristan Ryman got the first place finish, and Peyton Hagelin second in the JV. And now the Cardinals will have Keaton Doomer in lane number 3, Gavin Peterson in the middle in lane number 5, and up in lane number 7, senior Caden Abel for the Alexandria Cardinals. Wyatt Keepers in lane 2, Nathan Chaussee in lane 4, and Grady Sumption in lane 6. And here on the backstroke, they kick off the wall and work. And now looks like all the swimmers with a clean start. And looks like the Brainerd Warriors, Nathan Chaussee is going to lead the way as he's the first one to get to the wall, 1/4 of the way through the 100-yard backstroke. And right now the Cardinals, Gavin Peterson doing some work. He's the one in the middle in lane number 5 for Alexandria. If you're watching on YouTube, Caden Abel toward the top of the screen and Keaton Doomer toward the lower part of the screen. And once again, it looks like Nathan Chaussee leading the way. He's the first one to get to the wall first, and he's in his last 25 meters here. And he will end up getting the win. He's ahead by almost a half a length of the pool here. And it looks like the Warriors might be going 1-2 here with Grady Assumption, I believe, on the other side, getting the second place performance. Gavin Peterson will get third for Alexandria. Keaton Doomer ends up with the fourth place finish, and Caden Abel will get fifth. So the Cardinals will actually get 3 places there. Let's take another break as we hear from our Alexandria Cardinal Sports Boosters, and when we return, we'll give you the updated team score. Brainerd leads Alexandria in the varsity duel. Let's hear these words.
Where you start today is not where you'll finish tomorrow. At Alexandria College, we know you have big plans for the future. Find your calling and be a legend.
Getting in and out of the pharmacy is easy with Trum Drug's app, RX Local. Download the app, choose Trum Drug as your pharmacy, use it for medication refills and reminders. Trum Drug, locally owned, locally loved.
Hi, I'm Mark Lee from Mark Lee Excavating and Asphalt and Paving. Most of my crew has been here for decades.
The reason I've been here for so long is I love the variety and I love the different tasks throughout the day. A chance to operate many different pieces of equipment in any day.
Working here, I definitely like working with the crew. The guys are involved in training you and definitely help developing you as a person.
If I was looking for a place of employment, I would definitely apply here.
Give me a call and visit my website because we're hiring and I want to talk to you about your next career with us.
As we return to the action at the Brainerd High School Aquatic Center, the junior varsity 100-yard breaststroke is taking place right now. Eli Peterson and Cohen Lessenden are in the pool for the Cardinals. Eli Peterson in lane number 3 and Cohen Lessenden in lane number 5. Alex Keepers in lane 4 and Gavin Ryman in lane 6. So the middle 4 lanes are being used here as they work their way through the junior varsity breaststroke, and it looks like Alexandria will go 3rd and 4th in the junior varsity event. And I think it's Gavin Ryman getting the win there. Alex Keepers 2nd, and then Eli Peterson, Cohen Lucenden rounding out the numbers. The varsity event for the 100-yard breaststroke, 3 athletes for each team will be competing. Sam Kalina down in lane number 1 for Alexandria will be swimming exhibition here. Camden Costers will be in lane 3, Andy Wasik in lane 5, and Luke Christensen in lane number 7. Beckett Miller in lane 2. The Warriors will have Brooks Burkacek in lane number 4 and Jack Tachi in lane 6. Camden Costers off to a really good start here as Andy Wasik as well for Alexandria, and now working through the second portion.
Andy's a big boy. He's about 6'6" or 6'7", so he's got quite the advantage. He's probably got size 13 or 14 feet and a wingspan to match his height. So
yeah,
he's a very good breaststroker, and as you can see, he's out at least a body length ahead.
Yep, it's almost almost 2 full body lengths separate him and the one off to his left, which would be Brooks Brikacek for the Warriors. But Andy Wasik's going to go on to the first place finish here as he's continuing to maintain a healthy lead going left to right, and he'll end up touching the wall, and his winning time will be 1:03.54 seconds.
He slammed a 1:07.84 on the 12th of December against Apollo, so that's a nice improvement.
Yeah, it looks like Jack Tachi is going to finish 3rd, Luke Christensen 4th, and Camden Costers will get the 5th. So the Cardinals will end up going 1-4-5 there, I believe. And so 9 points for Alexandria and 7 for Brainerd. Let's take another 60-second timeout. I believe the updated numbers at the moment, Glenwood State Bank scoreboard have Brainerd in front by 27. The Warriors with 99.5 and Alexandria with 72.5.
A successful win isn't about the score. It's about what you put into the game. If a successful win matters to you on the purchase or sale of your property, Hard work matters to me. Todd Whiting, Century 21, 766-2200.
Dentistry at the Center knows all about busy schedules, and that's one of the best things about having 3 dentists. We have more appointment times available, so we can see you sooner. So, for dentist appointments to fit your schedule better, come see the friendly folks at Dentistry at the Center.
Precision Auto reminds you to plan for the inevitable, the change of weather and its impact on your vehicle. From simple tune-ups to major repairs, trust the precision of a pro. Precision Auto. On 8th and Nokomis, Alexandria.
Pomp's Tire Service has solutions for tired tires. Whatever your tire choice, make Pomp's your choice. Brakes, wheel alignments, factory maintenance, shocks, and struts. Pomp's has your service needs covered. Pomp's, we know tires and service. You should know Pomp's.
At the Brainerd High School Aquatic Center, the margin's not quite as wide. Brainerd's going to go on to win the duel, but 23 points is the spread right now. I mixed up Alexandria's score, gave Brainerd the 9 points and Alexandria the 7, so 97.5 is the score for Brainerd and 74.5 for Alexandria. And now the final relay of the night, the 400 free relay is underway. Alexandria in lane 3 has Caden Abel, Tony Olson, Carson Bumgarner, and Keaton Doomer. Lane 5 for Alexandria has Addie Newman, Gavin Peterson, Eli Wimmer, and Cooper Running. So basically, Mark, we've got 4 different athletes here competing, all same stroke. Is that correct?
That's right, 4 lengths of each, and we're about halfway through here. So we had a pretty good race going there on the first leg, falling behind just a little bit in the second leg.
Yep, Gavin Peterson and Tony Olson, the swimmers in for Alexandria for that second leg. Brainerd goes with Henry McCulley, Carter Durkis, Nathan Shosey, and Kyler Carlson in lane 4. Grady Sumption, Weston Thiese, Peyton Hagelin, and Logan Keepers in lane number 6. As 4 lanes are being used for this 400 free relay, the last varsity event of the night. And now another turn here as the third swimmer is in for all of the teams here. And now Alexandria is going to get its last swimmer in
one more lap here. We'll hand it off to Cooper Running, our best swimmer.
Yep.
I don't know if he can track down the Brainerd team in lane 4, who's 2 or 3 body lengths ahead right now, but hopefully it'll be a little closer.
Yep. The turn here, and now the last of the 4 members of the relay for each of the teams up on the board. It looks like the Brainerd Warriors get their final guy in, swimming the anchor. I believe that's going to be Kyler Carlson for the Warriors. Cooper Running trying his best to make up some ground here, and he's going to get to the wall quickly. I think he's in a pretty solid spot that Alexandria should get the second place points anyway in the relay, but still another 100 yards to go for Cooper Running. Trying to make up some ground on Brainerd's A relay, which is in lane number 4 of Henry McCulley, Carter Durkis, Nathan Shosey, and Kyler Carlson. So Kyler Carlson swimming the anchor here for Brainerd, and it looks like he's going to get to the wall, and Brainerd will end up with the first place finish here. And the Alexandria Cardinals relay, anchored by Cooper Running, will get the second place points, and I think the Cardinals are going to end up with some.
Looks like another. Yep. Looks like a third place finish for Brainerd. So
right. So they're
like a 1-4.
Yep. And
or 2-4.
Yeah.
1-4, I guess.
But in terms
2-4.
Yep.
2-4.
In terms of the points awarded, Brainerd will get the first and third place points. So I think the Warriors will close out with 10 added to the total, and Alexandria will end up with 4 points added to its total. So I think that's going to draw the meet to the close, as the last relay in exhibition is now across. The Cardinals did have Eli Peterson, Andrew Rock, Ethan Melgren, and Peter Wasik performing in exhibition up in lane 7, and down in lane 1, Weston Berkey, Gavin Gilbertson, Gavin Bryan, and Cohen Lessenden for the Alexandria Cardinals. And I think the last Alexandria relay with Cohen Lessenden is able to touch the wall here. Winning time for Brainerd's relay, 3 minutes 35.33 seconds to get the victory there. So the Warriors are going to add 10 points to their total. Alexandria will add 4. So that gives Brainerd a margin of victory of 29 on the night. Final on the Glenwood State Bank scoreboard in the varsity boys swimming and diving meet. Brainerd 107.5, Alexandria 78.5. Brainerd is now 2-0 in dual meet competition this year with wins over Alexandria and Sauk Rapids Rice. The Cardinals, competing in just their second dual meet of the year, fall to 1-1, following up the win at St. Cloud Apollo with a loss to the Brainerd Warriors. These athletes for the two teams will have the chance to compete against one another later on in the regular season when Sartell hosts the Central Lakes Conference Championships coming up in the month of February. But our play-by-play of tonight's duel between the Alexandria Cardinals and the Brainerd Warriors is wrapped up. We're not going anywhere, though. We will likely continue with our Alexandria Cardinal play-by-play broadcast of the boys swimming and diving competition up to 8 o'clock and even a little bit into the 8 o'clock hour as well. Jutner Motors is going to present our first post-meet report of calendar year 2025. I think Coach Kathy Walker is going to have a couple of her athletes join us upstairs, so we'll get involved in some conversation coming up in just a little while, and much more straight ahead when Jutner Motors presents our post-meet coverage after we hear these words on KXRA and watch a few messages on our YouTube channel from our Alexandria Cardinal Sports Boosters.
Hi, I'm Mark Lee from Mark Lee Excavating and Asphalt and Paving. Most of my crew has been here for decades.
The reason I've been here for so long is I love the variety and I love the different tasks throughout the day. A chance to operate many different pieces of equipment in any day.
Working here, I definitely like working with the crew. The guys are involved in training you and definitely help developing you as a person.
If I was looking for a place of employment, I would definitely apply here.
Give me a call and visit my website because we're hiring and I want to talk to you about your next career with us. Hi, I'm Mark Lee from Mark Lee Excavating and Asphalt and Paving. Most of my crew has been here for decades.
The reason I've been here for so long is I love the variety and I love the different tasks throughout the day. A chance to operate many different pieces of equipment in any day.
Working here, I definitely like working with the crew. The guys are involved in training you and definitely help developing you as a person.
If I was looking for a place of employment, I would definitely apply here.
Give me a call and visit my website because we're hiring and I want to talk to you about your next career with us.
I see generations who are passionate about what they did. I hope that I can leave a legacy of compassion for people and love for family and friends.
What's your number?
I drove 60 miles to get a great deal from Quality Toyota. I drove 45 miles to get a great deal from Quality Toyota.
Quality Toyota.
Life can sometimes feel like you're navigating through construction. You hit a detour, run out of gas, or you're going the wrong way on a one-way street. But Lakeland Mental Health Center is here to help you get back to the right path. Visit lmhc.org. Help today for a better tomorrow.
Hi, Carl Qualley with Qualley Real Estate. Our business approach is based on what we call the 4 E's: experience, expertise, ethics, and energy. Qualities that led us to be voted best real estate company 3 years in a row. Find your real estate coach at Qualley Real Estate, where we protect your money.
Premier Collision guarantees your full satisfaction. From a simple dent to major bodywork, Premier Collision will fix your vehicle right. Stop by for a free estimate or go to premiercollisionmn.com. Premier Collision, excellent results, a friendly attitude, and fair prices.
Welcome to the spirit of Lake Town hospitality. Welcome to D. Mike's Resort Bar and Grill. From legacy locals, seasonal visitors, to traveling teams, you are our community. Come share in our rustic flavors, modern flair, and authentic roots. Legacy inspired, community infused.
What's your number?
We've driven 57 miles to Quality Toyota to get a great deal, and we've done it 13 times.
Quality Toyota.
Feel confident. Feel inspired. Embrace your unique beauty at 6th and Broadway Clothing. From expertly curated collections to personalized styling and color analysis services, you can embrace style as beautiful as you.
Better water starts with EcoWater. Get started today and discover EcoWater's products and expertise for the perfect solution. Visit WeFixWaterMN.com with offices in Alexandria, Fergus Falls, Glenwood, and Morris.
Get great service at Alexandria Motors. Serving your family for generations and generations to come. Stop in for a great deal on your next vehicle. Alexandria Motors. One low price, plain and simple, always.
Motors post-meet report. Hello once again, along with Coach Mark Storhaug. I am DMAC Dave McClurg, and our thanks to Jutner Motors for presenting our pregame, or in this case, or a pregame, postgame. In this case, it's post-meet coverage, along with our pre-meet show earlier tonight. Brainerd ends up defeating Alexandria by 29 points in the varsity competition as the Warriors score 107.5. Alexandria finishes at 78.5 points. And Mark, I think we knew, and you kind of tipped off to me ahead of time, that this was going to be a challenge. You know, Brainerd's got a very nice swim team. You know, I don't know exactly their grade breakdown. I didn't see the, I would have to, you know, study Coach McKegg's roster a little bit more closely. But, you know, year in and year out, Brainerd is pretty solid in the pool in the fall and in the winter.
You know, and they've had a good YMCA team, so they have a really good feeder program. We have our club team as well, but yeah, they just seem to, they have developed into a very good squad. They've had a few invites and a couple of dual meets already this year, so their competition, you know, the rust isn't there anymore. They're pretty well off on their way to good competitions and being able to compete well, and they showed that tonight. We only had 3 events, I think, where we outscored them, so they have a lot of depth as well as some top-notch talent up front.
Yeah, and I think there were a lot of different factors, but you made reference, you know, I think Brainerd actually had a 5-team invite here at the Aquatic Center last weekend. I think Wilmer was one of the teams that got involved in that, and I think Brainerd had the opportunity to compete down in the Twin Cities. I hear the slogan, rest means rust. And you know, we had the holidays. You know, some kids were out of town. Some kids were not feeling well. I know Coach Walker was mentioning as part of our pre-meet coverage that, you know, various ailments have been affecting the team. But does having a gap, you know, it was 3 weeks since the last duel that the Cardinals competed in, and that was the season opener on December 12th. Can that also factor in, you know, being that Brainerd's had more live competition?
Yeah, I think it might. But, you know, we saw some good improvements from that December 12th meet. But, yeah, by and large, I think it would have been better to have another meet in there someplace. Maybe, of course, we had that one postponement that might have helped a little bit.
Yeah.
But we've had 3 weeks off now, so yeah, I think you know, you talk about football, and you know, they're resting Mahomes for the next couple of
exactly.
You know, that could mean, and they've talked about that on the air too. That could mean that he's going to be rusty in 2 more weeks. So it might not be right on. So maybe our kids. It'd be an interesting question for some of the athletes that we have come up here and talk to us is how they felt about that 3-week break.
Yeah, I should let you know as we're including our post-meet report on our YouTube channel as well, along with KXRA Radio. Coach Walker, I believe, is going to send a couple of her swimmers and or divers upstairs to join us in a couple of minutes. So we do have the handheld microphone that the kids will have the opportunity. So we're going to kind of ad-lib a little bit before we get into our next break for our Jutner Motors post-meet coverage. But, you know, as we can kind of, you know, look through the score sheet a little bit, there were a number of highlights for Alexandria in this duel.
Yeah, we did have two kids by my count that had 2 wins each. Andy Wasek won the IM and the breaststroke, and then Cooper Running won the butterfly, and what else did he swim? The 200 free.
Yeah.
So that was nice. Good to see. Those were our 2 top-notch type swimmers on our team. Those are our lead athletes. Cooper has been in the state meet, you know, a couple of times now, and he's an all-state athlete. So he knows how to compete. But he did try another event today. Interesting to find out what he thought about the butterfly race, because he's typically a 200 freestyler, a 500-yard freestyler. But stuck him in something different for tonight, and we'll see how he felt about his butterfly race.
Yeah, we're hoping that Cooper Running will be one of the 2 kids or multiple athletes that would be joining us upstairs. Again, logistically, the athletes have to climb stairs, or they could take an elevator to get up to the level where the spectators are. Mark, is there any comparable venue that you've coached in that is laid out like we do have at Brainerd, where there is as much separation between the athletes and the spectators?
There are quite a few teams. Wilmer has balcony seating. St. Cloud Tech has balcony seating, although it's not this high. But yeah, there are a number of Sauk Rapids. You sit up high like this as well. So it's kind of nice to be up this high. I went to the Olympic trials over the summer, and I sat in second row. I thought it was going to be a great spot, but you get down so low. Yeah. All the lanes start merging together. You can't hardly differentiate between one lane and the next. Now from way up here, you got a bird's eye view of all the races.
Now, when the Olympic trials were going on, was that in Minneapolis, or did you?
No, the Olympic trials were in Indianapolis.
Oh, okay.
So we traveled over to Indianapolis for that, and what a great time. We saw lots of world records, and it was just a great experience.
Yeah, and I think you mentioned when you watch NBC's coverage of the Summer Olympic Games, it's likely you're going to have Dan Hicks and Rowdy Gaines talking about swimming in the pool. And what's it like, to actually see them in person when they were at the Olympic trials?
Yeah, it's kind of cool. We although we were sitting across the pool from them, I mean, it's a big pool. It's a big tank. They probably have 10 lanes instead of 8 here. But, we could see them over there. It's kind of cool to see the personalities in real life. So
yeah. So Mark Storhaugen, yours truly, Dave McClurg, with you right now for our Jutner Motors post-meet coverage right here on KXRA Radio. You're also watching on the Voice of Alexandria live stream channel on YouTube. Brainerd ends up winning the duel by 29. The Warriors score 107.5 points, and Alexandria ends up with 78.5 points. So the Warriors are off to a 2-0 dual meet start in the Central Lakes Conference. The Alexandria Cardinals now at 1-1. And the Cards are set to be back on the road next week. They'll actually make up their weather-related postponement before Christmas. They're scheduled to compete against Sauk Rapids Rice down in Sauk Rapids on Tuesday of this coming week on the 7th of January. And in my mind, that'll be a good measuring stick duel between the Cardinals and the Storm, because now both have competed against the Brainerd Warriors, and Brainerd's margin of victory against Sauk Rapids was a little bit wider than it was. I think Sauk Rapids hosted Brainerd, and I want to say the Warriors scored north of 120 points that night.
Okay, so yeah, we have a good chance to win then. That'll be nice to come out with a victory there.
Yeah, so again, we thank all of the Alexandria Cardinal sports boosters that have helped to present our boys swimming and diving competition this evening. Our first ever boys swimming and diving broadcast. We featured one of Coach Storhaug's meets during the fall season when the Alexandria Cardinal girls swimming and diving team earned a victory down at St. Cloud Apollo. Of course, Apollo has been a long-standing member of the Central Lakes Conference. I believe the Cardinal boys swimming and diving team opened up their season with a win against the Apollo Eagles. But are there is Apollo now the oldest pool in the Central Lakes Conference, being that you have a new high school at Tech, a new high school at Sartell. Yes. Discovery Middle School's been around 30 years now, which is quite a while. But
well, I'll tell you how old it is. I swam there as a junior and a senior. So
at Apollo?
At Apollo, yeah.
Oh, my.
So I won't tell you how old I am, but that's how old it is.
Okay, very good. Well, we can tell you St. Cloud Apollo High School opened up in the fall of 1970. So
darn. So now you're getting close to my age now.
I'm not necessarily spilling the beans on how new Apollo was when you competed there. But say we want to let you know that you are watching our broadcast tonight on the Voice of Alexandria live stream channel on YouTube. You're also listening on People Radio, KXRA Alexandria, 1490 AM. 100.3 FM, 105.7 FM, and we're streaming audio as well through the Voice of Alexandria app. The Alexandria boys swimming and diving team now at 1-1 on the year. Another highlight here, Alexandria performed well on the diving board. I think we kind of expected that Kyler Cavanaugh and Crew Mouche would end up diving well. And I think you talked with Kyler before the broadcast began tonight, and he was going to kind of be a little bit more close to the vest, but if he was conservative in his diving repertoire, he still scored very well. I think he ends up in second place.
Yeah, so apparently I was talking to him, and he said he was in practice, and he was doing, I don't remember what he said he was doing, maybe a back double or something, and he ended up kind of entering with his head first instead of his hands first, and so got kind of a headache there at that entry. So he was going to kind of be a little more tame with his lineup today and make sure he wasn't doing something that he was going to crash on or something and further injure himself or make him feel worse. So he was more conservative with his lineup of dives tonight, and so that's probably why he scored 226 points instead of more.
Yeah, and it turns out I think Crew Mouche ended up with the first place honors there. I think his score was around 229 or something like
Pretty
that.
close, yeah.
And, you know, Brainerd actually had a very good performance out of one of their divers, David Harith.
They did.
You know, he was very close behind the two leaders for Alexandria. So that 1-2-3 finish in diving ended up being very hotly contested.
Yeah, they all had some good dives. To be a good diver, you got to have height. You got to have a tolerable distance from the board. You got to have clean entries. You know, those acrobatics have to be nice and tight. And, yeah, there was, you know, 2 or 3 really good, you know, along with ours. I think it was Harith. Was he the best diver? Like 215 or something like that?
Right, yeah. So he wasn't
that was very good.
off.
That was very good, too.
Yeah. So Alexandria was able to, you know, gain a majority of points in diving, but as Coach Storhaug mentioned earlier, Brainerd was able to have the point advantage in several events, and that allowed Brainerd to pull away and end up winning by 29 here. The Warriors end up with a team score of 107.5, and Alexandria's team score ends up being 78.5. This is our post-meet coverage. It's being brought to you by Junkner Motors in Alexandria. The high school pool here at the Brainerd Aquatic Center is pretty much emptied out, but again, we're anticipating a couple of the Alexandria swimmers and divers hopefully coming upstairs to join us here again, and when they do, we're going to have them on the air for some conversation. The Cardinals, Andy Wasik and Cooper Running, both double event winners for Alexandria. I think, Mark, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to overreach and press that button there, so that's going to make our guest mic hot, you know, whenever the athletes do get upstairs again. It's a little bit of a different process. 2 different ways for the swimmers and divers to join us up in the broadcasting area of the Brainerd High School Aquatic Center. They can either take the elevator, like I did, or they could climb steps. And it's not a very big flight of steps to go up or down, for that matter. But
it's a lovely room, as you can see from the the panoramic view that you have behind us. They have a swimming tank, 8-lane pool, and then they have a separate diving well there too, which is also nice. Normally at our pool, we have to take a lane guide out and sacrifice 2 of the lanes in a practice, so that we're able to have the divers dive and the swimmers swim. So we only get 6 lanes of practicing room, and then the divers take up 2 of the lanes. So here you have separate well, so they don't have to give up any room for their swimmers during a swimming practice.
Do you recall, of course, this facility here at Brainerd High School, I believe they're in their 3rd school year of using it. So, if you alternate competition sites every other year, this would be the boys swimming and diving team's 2nd appearance here in Alexandria.
Right.
But are there any other schools around the conference or even in the section where you do have a separate diving well?
Yeah, Wilmer has a separate diving well. As you look at the pool, their diving well would not be at the end of the pool; it'd be in the middle of the building, and so it'd be across the pool.
Okay.
On the other side of the competition pool for swimming. But this is nice. You can see everything. You can go down to the other end and watch diving. You're still pretty close to the diving boards, whereas in Wilmer you're quite a ways away from the diving board.
Yeah, very good. We'll talk for a couple of minutes more, and if we don't have a couple of the Alexandria swimmers / divers joining us, we'll go to our final break, and then if we get the kids upstairs, we will talk with them in our final segment of our post-meet coverage, again presented to you by Junkner Motors of Alexandria. The Alexandria boys swimming and diving team now at 1-1 on the year, after Brainerd prevails to go to 2-0. Both wins in the Central Lakes Conference for the Warriors, as they have defeated Sauk Rapids Rice and Alexandria. The victory margin for Brainerd tonight, 29 points, as Brainerd scores 107.5, and the Alexandria Cardinals score 78.5 points. Couple of other programming notes to let you know about. Of course, we share information regarding developments for the Alexandria boys swimming and diving team during our Cardinal Sports Report programs. We'll be back with our full schedule of Cardinal Sports Reports on Friday here on KXRA Radio. You'll hear them around 8:15 in the morning. Then again as part of the KXRA noon news hour and the KXRA 5 o'clock news hour as well. The Alexandria girls basketball team got back into action tonight with a game against the Rocori Spartans down in Cold Spring. I believe that's in progress right now. The Alexandria boys and girls hockey teams are also competing tonight, facing the St. Cloud Crush. The ladies game is down at the Municipal Athletic Complex in St. Cloud, while the gentlemen are playing tonight at the Runestone Community Center in Alexandria. We will look forward to bringing you some more Alexandria Cardinal girls hockey on Saturday. We'll be up in Roseau. Jeff James and myself will be joined by J.P. Boleen for Alexandria at Roseau, the first of the two regular season meetings between those Section 8 AA rivals. Our broadcast on Saturday will start with the Jutner Motors pregame show at about 3:40 in the afternoon prior to the play-by-play at 4. Tomorrow night, we're set to bring you high school boys basketball coverage from Alexandria Area High School's Polig Court. The Cardinals facing the Rocori Spartans. Alexandria now 4-3 on the year, but all three of those defeats for Forest Witt's Cardinals have come against state-ranked teams. Mankato is ranked in the Class 3A boys basketball poll. Both Sauk Rapids Rice and Cretin-Durham Hall are ranked in the Class 4A boys basketball poll. And Alexandria gets back into CLC competition tomorrow night. Russ Hendricks will be joining me, and J.P. Boleen will be on the video camera as well for Alexandria versus Rocori tomorrow night in boys basketball. We should be taking air just before 7 with our Jutner Motors pregame show. I think what we're going to do here is we're going to go to that final break, and hopefully in that time we'll have some of the Alexandria swimmers coming up and joining us for some conversation. Again, this is our post-meet coverage from the Brainerd High School Aquatic Center. You're watching it on the Voice of Alexandria live stream channel on YouTube. You're also listening to it on KXRA Radio and through your Voice of Alexandria app. Now these words from our Cardinal Sports Booster.
Get great service at Alexandria Motors. Serving your family for generations and generations to come. Stop in for a great deal on your next vehicle. Alexandria Motors. One low price, plain and simple, always.
Better water starts with EcoWater. Get started today and discover EcoWater's products and expertise for the perfect solution. Visit WeFixWaterMN.com with offices in Alexandria, Fergus Falls, Glenwood, and Morris.
Welcome to the spirit of Lake Town hospitality. Welcome to D. Mike's Resort Bar and Grill. From legacy locals, seasonal visitors, to traveling teams, you are our community. Come share in our rustic flavors, modern flair, and authentic roots. Legacy inspired, community infused.
Feel confident. Feel inspired. Embrace your unique beauty at 6th and Broadway Clothing. From expertly curated collections to personalized styling and color analysis services, you can embrace style as beautiful as you.
Premier Collision guarantees your full satisfaction. From a simple dent to major bodywork, Premier Collision will fix your vehicle right. Stop by for a free estimate or go to premiercollisionmn.com. Premier Collision, excellent results, a friendly attitude, and fair prices.
Hi, Carl Qualley with Qualley Real Estate. Our business approach is based on what we call the 4 E's: experience, expertise, ethics, and energy. Qualities that led us to be voted best real estate company 3 years in a row. Find your real estate coach at Qualley Real Estate, where we protect your money.
What's your number?
We've driven 57 miles to Quality Toyota to get a great deal, and we've done it 13 times.
Quality Toyota.
Northland Buildings has been providing quality post-frame buildings to customers for 30 years, serving clients across the upper Midwest since 1994. Northland Buildings, quality buildings built tough for the Northland.
Northland Building.
Where you start today is not where you'll finish tomorrow. At Alexandria College, we know you have big plans for the future. Find your calling and be a legend.
Enjoy life at the lake and work for a growing company that offers rewarding careers and cares about your well-being. Agard. We build cool machines and are hiring for multiple positions across the organization. Plus, no-cost health benefits for you and your family.
Brainerd High School and the Aquatic Center on the campus of Brainerd High School. It is our Jutner Motors post-meet coverage. Brainerd gets the victory in the pool tonight. The Warriors score 107.5. Alexandria scores 78.5. And the Cardinals are now 1-1 in the dual meet schedule. And Mark, you know, obviously the December schedule is pretty light because it seems to me that the swimmers and divers in the winter, they're among the last athletes to start their season. Sometimes you've got coaches that coach in the fall, that coach in the winter, and I know you're very familiar with that in your years of doing that. But does it become a little bit of a challenge, especially when you've got Christmas and New Year's in the middle of a week here, to try to get a lot of meets on the December schedule?
Now, typically we only get 2.
Yeah.
As far as I remember, it's been 10 years since I've been coaching, but it seems like we only get about 2, maybe 3, if that. But yeah, so you get 2 on the schedule, and one of them's postponed. Now you've only got 1 under your belt,
right?
And then 3 weeks goes by before you have another one. So.
And I know Brainerd is kind of in the same fate. They had a dual meet on December 19th that also got postponed. So they're making one up. But I think they were able to get in a couple of either weekend tournaments, multi-school tournaments, including one that they were able to host over the holidays. So. But, hopefully from this point forward, I know that the meet schedule is going to come pretty hefty. I think it's going to be pretty much 2 meets a week now through the remainder of the regular season.
Yeah, we've got, I think, 5 meets coming up in the next month.
Yeah.
As the month of January progresses, they're all home meets, I think.
Right, except for the True Team sections, which I believe is over in Morris, and that's probably one of the shorter trips.
And I think that's next weekend.
Yeah, already.
So already True Team sections.
And I think when the schedule was put together before any weather-related issues, Alexandria was going to be off until the True Team sections on January 11th. So now they've got a Tuesday meet. It's probably the perfect time to have a meet because you get that in early in the week, and then you get several days of training before you get into True Team sections.
Yep, that'll be nice. That's it's good to get some competitions under their belts. I mean, I think they just need to knock the rust off with competing wise. I'm sure they've been working hard, but competing and training are 2 different things. I mean, I guess you don't want to have too many meets in a week that many times. You don't want to have 2 meets in a week all the time because you're going to get better by training, not by competing. But if you don't compete at all, it'd be like Tiger Woods only golfing in the 4 majors. Well, you're just not going to be competitive ready. For all those dates when they're so spaced out.
Yeah. And then, of course, you got True Team state competition. Now, I think the placement of True Team for the fall season for girls swimming is different from the boys season. It seems like in the winter, the True Team section and True Team state are much earlier on the schedule.
Right. Yeah. The girls True Team, I think, is a week before the MEA break, so it's in the middle of October.
Yeah.
And so it's quite a bit later in the season. But I think it's nice because then you've got True Team sections, True Team state, then there's a couple of weeks off. You get to conference, a couple of weeks off. You get to the high school league section meet and the state meet the week after that. So the spacing is pretty nice in the fall, I think.
Yeah. Anyway, we're pretty close to wrapping things up. I don't know if we're going to have the Alexandria swimmers coming upstairs to join us. I know that they've got a long bus ride ahead. I think they actually took a motor coach tonight. So many of the nights when the Cardinals are going to swimming and diving meets, they're going on a conventional school bus. But I think some extra dollars were put together to get the motor coach ride. I think they're going to have a nice pizza meal on the way back home. So
what are we doing here, Dave?
Yeah, exactly.
We should be out there.
Right.
I think there's a slice of true will be left over, right?
Yeah, you would think, but hopefully, kind of, especially when we got long trips like this, my preference is to have, a pre-event meal rather than a post-event meal. So
much appreciated.
Yes, and I think we made a very good meal stop as we had to improvise a little bit. But I think we're going to get a couple of the Alexandria boys swimmers and divers over. I am going to step down, and hopefully I don't fall too much, but I'll have the gentlemen come down, and they are now in their street clothes, so I don't know if they've showered up and everything like that.
Come down to that. Let's step down there.
Yeah, we'll visit with the 2 athletes here. First of all, tell us who you are.
I'm Andy Wasik. I'm in 10th grade.
Very good. Andy, congratulations on the nice evening. I think a double event winner for the Alexandria Cardinals. How did you feel about what you were able to contribute to the team effort tonight?
I thought it was good. I thought winning 2 was good. I also thought the relays did really good. I'd like to say something about Zach Iverson. He went 23 in his 50 freestyle split.
Okay.
which is, I think, a lifetime best for him.
Oh my goodness! Yeah.
And you two guys went 22s. I
Yeah,
think. So
22.
That was great as well.
Yeah, so, it's been a little bit of a gap in between meets and everything, Andy. When you had the competition early on in December, it's unfortunate that your second meet ended up getting weathered out, and you're going to make that up next week. But was it kind of a grind to do the training over the holiday break, or did Coach Walker and the staff kind of mix things up a little bit?
It was definitely a grind. We had 2-a-day practices almost all break.
Oh,
so
wow.
Coming back to this meet, it was really good to show how much we improved over break.
Now, I know that Kathy mentioned to me that, she has the privilege of coaching, young men that get involved in a lot of different activities. Are you a multiple sport athlete yourself, or is swimming the one event that you kind of pursue with a passion?
Up until this year, I did soccer. I didn't do it this year. I did more swimming in the off season this year.
Okay, so I would guess that Camden Costers and Micah Kitzman have been teammates with you in the fall as well as the winter.
Yeah.
Do you have any dirt you can share on them, by the way?
I'm not gonna, but I do.
Good political correct response and everything. Andy Wasik is our first guest right here as part of our Juttner Motors post-meet coverage. He was a 2-event winner for the Alexandria Cardinals. The Brainerd Warriors get the dual meet victory by a score of 107.5 to 78.5. And Mark, I'll let you banter with Andy, and then I'll come back maybe with a follow-up question or two.
Yeah, I was just curious to know what you thought of the fact that you had a 3-week break. And even though you had some nice improvements, your breaststroke went from a 7 to a 3. Do you feel like that 3-week break was a bad thing, or did you feel like you knocked off the rust quickly and you were able to compete and improve and easily make those improvements?
I feel like after the first meet, there was a lot of stuff I wanted to work on. I knew I could do better, and over the 3 weeks, I really pushed it myself in practice, and we actually had yesterday off, or 2 days. Yesterday off.
Yesterday off, yep.
And really rested up, and I think it helped us swim faster today.
Sure. Congratulations. Well done.
In terms of some of the training that you and your teammates do, any idea about the mileage that you've put in so far, especially when you're going 2-a-days and everything?
I'm not completely sure. I'd say it's probably close to, during 2 days, probably close to 2-3 miles of practice.
Wow.
Oh yeah. At least.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Andy, do you set some goals for yourself, at the outset of the year? Of course, you're going to have plenty of eligibility remaining even after this winter, but what do you want to accomplish here in your sophomore year?
At state or sections, I wanted to go a sub-minute in my 100 breaststroke and a sub-2 minutes in my 200 IM, and also win both those events at sections.
Of course, you do have the opportunity to utilize a lot of different strokes. Is there one favorite that you like to swim, and is there one, in your opinion, Andy, that's the most challenging to swim?
Up until this year, I really loved the breaststroke, but this year I think my freestyle's improved a lot, and I'm starting to like that a little bit more. But for challenging, definitely the butterfly. My butterfly is not very good yet.
Okay, all right.
I kind of just power through it, and my technique's not there yet, but we're working on it.
I'll be over.
Yep, very good. Coach would be happy to give you, some tips and pointers. The events that you're in here in this meet in Brainerd, Andy, will those be events that you compete in on a regular basis, or might you have the opportunity to, try in a different event or two before the regular season's done?
Those are pretty much my main events, but I think my coach might put me in some sprint events like the 50 or the 100 going forward.
Very good. Andy, I think we'll have you switch places here with your teammate, but thanks a lot for the comments, and tell us who you are.
Oh, I'm Cooper Running. I'm a senior at Alec here.
Very good. Well, Cooper, congratulations being a double event winner just like Andy, but how do you feel about your performance up here in Brainerd?
It's pretty good. I mean, got our second meet canceled, so I was pretty nervous about what I would be able to do. Had a pretty, I shouldn't say rough first meet because they weren't bad times, but it was nice to come here, drop 4 seconds in my 200, try out the 100 fly. I'd only swam that in practice so far, so it's a good meet.
Yeah, considering, the fly is, something new to you here, how did you feel about what you were able to do there? And do you feel that there's still room to get better in that?
Oh, I'm really happy with it. And there's a lot of room there. I mean, I'll probably still dabble in the 100 fly, do it some more meets, switch out with the 500 a bit, but we're still figuring it out. Might end up swimming that at sections and state. We don't know.
Is there a particular event that you would consider your specialty event, Cooper?
The 2 free here. Two free. I've swam at state, 10th grade and 11th grade, and probably this year as well.
Yeah, that's what we're hoping for, that you get to the U of M Aquatic Center in that, and hopefully some other events as well. But you're kind of an elder statesman on a team that has a lot of underclassmen. You know, do you feel that you and Caden Abel, representing the class of 2025, how do you feel about kind of being an owner of this team?
You know, it's a young team we've got, a lot of guys, but it's nice to be someone that they can look up to and someone that they can learn from. And I know when I was little, there was a lot of seniors that I, learned from and swam with and helped me develop into a good swimmer. So it's a good feeling being someone that, like, younger swimmers can, like Wimmer or Cohen Lessenden or Peter Wasek, can watch and feel inspired in a way.
Yeah, and I know that you've got some connections. You know, Alexandria had a terrific performance at state. You're not that far removed from being public school state champions in Class A, and we won't mention the actual state champions. We'll try to keep those two names off of our vocabulary for the night anyway. But do you feel Alexandria is capable of having a number of state qualifiers later on in February?
Oh, yeah. No, we've got a few guys that could swim. I mean, Camden, he's doing some pretty cool things in the breaststroke. So is Luke Christensen. We've got Andy here, of course. Me, Addie Newman, he's swimming pretty fast. Camden, Zach. I mean, so much room on our relays still. We have no clue what those are going to look like. So there could be a big group we have.
So you're kind of inferring that for the relays that Coach Walker is going to put together throughout the year, that there's plenty of growth potential there.
Oh yeah, no, we've got so many kids who are all so close in speed, and they all want to be on that relay. They all want to go to state, so it'll be exciting seeing what happens.
This is Cooper Running, who is joining us as one of our two quality Toyota Cardinal athlete players or swimmers of tonight's meet. They were both double event winners as Brainerd gets the victory over Alexandria. And Mark, I'll let you interact with Cooper, and then I'll wrap things up with him.
Yeah, is there some relay that you'd like to see, or maybe the two that you'd like to see out of the three that would be
for me
able to go to state that you might be a part of?
I would, 2 free, 4 free for me at least. Yeah. I would like to see all of them go.
Yeah.
We did not get all of them last year. Medley came up 1-2 spots short, I think, but I got a good feeling about it this year.
The trouble is with Andy being a breaststroker. He's a 52, 51, 50-point 100 freestyler. Unfortunately, being going back-to-back races is going to be tough. That would be cool to be able to be in that 4 free relay with you. A couple of sub 50 by the time you get to state.
Yeah.
In those legs of the relay, that would bode pretty well in state competition too.
Yeah, and I mean at state they give. Well, you're tapered, so you're rested, but they give you time too. I mean, the officials are. I did the medley to 2 free, 10th grade back to back, so they'll make it work if that's what we end up going with.
Yeah, I think I remember that. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Good job to both of you. That was exciting to watch you guys, and
thank you so much.
And hopefully, good luck in the next month of the season, where you have 5 home dual meets and true team sections coming up. So.
Mm-hmm.
As it turns out, Cooper, the first 3 duels are on the road, and then you do have a lot of home events. How beneficial is it going to be to swim in front of your fans? I know we had some Cardinal fans here tonight at Brainerd, but you'll obviously have more fans when you're competing at Discovery Middle School.
It makes a huge difference. I mean, you just have, I shouldn't say pressure, but just motivation to go faster and to beat the kids next to you and swim for your parents, your teammates' parents, and everyone. I mean, they want to see you win. They want to see you swim fast, and it's a huge motivator to go out and actually do it in front of them.
Excellent. Final wrap-up for you, Cooper. Of course, we're on YouTube tonight, so anything you want to say into the camera before we close out here?
Oh, my goodness. Go Cards. I got nothing.
Your parents were here. You can't shout out to your parents.
Hi, Mom. Hi, Dad. If my cats are watching, I hope they're proud of me.
Yep. Well, they can watch you in the archives and everything. But, guys, I'm going to ask you to stay with me for a couple of moments as we wrap up our broadcast, and then we'll talk to you a little bit off the air. But best wishes during the meets ahead, Cooper, and to Andy, and thanks a lot for the time.
Thank you so much.
That's Cooper Running along with Andy Wasik from the Alexandria boys swimming and diving team, gracious enough to join us upstairs following this meet as Alexandria fell to the Brainerd Warriors. Brainerd with a score of 107.5, the Cardinals at 78.5. And Mark, you will get the last word before I wrap things up.
I just want to say hi to my wife, Cindy, the announcer for all the swimming meets. She's home watching. And my assistant coach from the girls' season, Brad Johnson's on YouTube watching us too. So, yeah, this is a lot of fun being with Dave. I've known Dave for, I don't know, is it 40 years almost?
Yes, longer than J.P. Bolin has been alive, longer than Andy Wasik has been alive, and longer than Cooper Running has been alive.
So this is the first time on this side of the microphone.
Yeah, well, I hope it was a great experience. I really enjoyed working with you. And I know we did at-length interviews in our younger days when we were thinner and we had more hair on top.
Yeah, exactly.
But, Mark, great to have you here. Thanks so much for the broadcast tonight.
My pleasure.
That's Mark Storhaug, and I am DMAC Dave McClurg. Thanks again to all of the Alexandria Cardinal sports boosters that presented our broadcast. Special thanks to Juttner Motors for presenting our post-meet report. 1 week from tonight, we'll have our first ever Alexandria gymnastics meet on the air. The Cardinals hosting Brainerd at the Discovery Middle School Gymnastics Center Thursday, January 9th. We've got Alexandria boys basketball on the air tomorrow night. The Cardinals versus Ricori at Alexandria Area High School. Game time set for 7:15. Thanks to Juttner Motors for sponsoring our post-meet coverage and to all of our Alexandria Cardinal sports boosters. For Jackson back at the KXRA studio and J.P. Bolin on the hand here at Brainerd High School's Aquatic Center, and for Coach Mark Storhaug, Dave McClurg wishing you a good night from Brainerd High School.